expenses. Women can drive excellent automobiles on their own. If a woman wants to conceive children, sperm donors are available. Women have vibrators, yet male nowadays struggle to please a woman. Women require protection, and women have police officers. Furthermore, women are more likely to be in a sorry, women are more likely to be in a domestic relationship than being attacked by a rando. Oh, so women are more likely to be attacked in domestic relationships than be attacked by random men. Got it. So they're lovers. Got it. Women are more capable of resolving problems on their own, right? Which is why we have the bonobo tribe, and we understand that the bonobos are the chimpanzees that run off the matriarch. That's why they have the most peaceful colonies versus the patriarchal chimpanzees, where if you see them, they're like on some Tarzan shit, they'll kill you, they all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Conversation. Women can get work done with friends as well because they can hold conversations. Emotional comfort. Women are better at it. Sorry, women. That's so small. I'm so sorry. Women are better at it, so one of their friends will be too. So anyway, they're saying women are better at emotional comfort. Okay. God damn.
Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. Got it.
I mean, but the men say what they mean when they say women are nurturing, all those different things. They don't. If I said, "All right, cool," do you want a man to be nurturing? You want a man to be your emotional comfort? They're gonna say no. They're gonna say that's suspect. They're gonna say it's
No, 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 absolutely not. Because okay, okay, maybe how about men with children? Would that change your thoughts on it? Huh?
on, on what?
On about them being nurturing now that they have children.
Yeah, that don't really change. I've
It doesn't
been
change? Wow.
no,
Okay.
yeah, I've
Some
been
men
with
don't
women with
nurse their
children.
children.
No, that's what I'm saying. I get that some don't, but I'm just saying, wouldn't we like that? Like I thought that was something people would like.
Yeah.
You have to
For
understand
women to
that
be nurturing.
baby, right? All of these
Hold on,
hormones.
just so I can keep up with the conversation. What are you saying? That women and men will like what?
No, what I'm saying is, so nobody agrees that men should be more nurturing now that they have children
But no, we
against
wasn't really talking about that
people
though. We
without
was no, but that's not really what it said. It said emotional comfort. Women are better at being emotionally comforting. So
okay,
that
but what I'm saying is, wouldn't we like to see them be more like that when they have children? That was a
the
question.
men, would you like to see the men be more emotionally comforting?
Yes, once they have children, at least. Like you said no for the first part. And then I asked, okay,
For
but
other men or for their
children.
girlfriends? For their girlfriends, yes. I don't think other men were
No, you
going
said
to
for the
allow.
girlfriends. No, we said no. I said when they have children, does that change or does it stay the same?
No, they got to be more emotionally vulnerable when they have a family.
You know, we would hope so. That's the thing. Okay.
Yeah, it should be a little more sensitive.
Some do, but I think most don't because men they see they call everything gay nowadays. They like everything. You can if a man cry, he gonna say, "Oh man, I'm being too emotional. I'm acting like a woman." So
No, see, no, no, no,
a
no,
lot of those
no.
men are just hyperly masculine, or I call it pseudo masculinity.
Well, I like
I
what
guess it's called.
Sunflower said.
Oh, which one? Let me see. She says, men having children doesn't change my mind at all of them being nurturing. I'm pretty sure she meant nurturing. Having children and your care doesn't make you nurturing. Women are more in tune with it. Just because they have children, it doesn't change our minds about men not being nurturing. There are a lot of men who have their children that raise them, but they are not nurturing. That's facts.
Yeah. Yeah, that
That's a
is
Yeah,
fact.
I like that. Yeah, that. Yeah.
That's a fact. It's not for everybody. Says men need to do that anyway. Men need to stop using women as their only source. That's a fact, but that's
Agreed.
the role that y'all play for a lot of these bandits is the role of um I'm going to use her as emotionally like to pour all my emotions into to a place to hang up all my insecurities. Men do this undoubtedly. If you don't believe it, You probably are a victim of it right now, right? Without even fucking knowing. Let's keep going, child.
Too, and I was like, they are dragging these men. Like it's absolutely a drag. Yeah, it's definitely a drag. It says what can men offer these days? Hold on, because my camera is over here dysfunctioning again. Let me just run up and grab some tape to put on the. This is about to be so ghetto. The good thing is y'all not gonna see it, but let me tell you, I promise you, I'm about to get some duct tape and put it on this camera. So hold on.
Wait, yo, what can men? Let me go back to the article. It says modern day women don't need men anymore. And then it goes down. As a man looking from the outside in, I honestly think that women do not need a man for meaningful relationship. And then it goes on to say, what can men offer these days? Women earn money and pay their own expenses. Women can drive excellent automobiles on their own. If a woman wants to conceive children, sperm donors are available. Women have, you know what? Yet males nowadays struggle to sleep with a lady. Women require protection, and you have cops. Furthermore, women are more likely to be in domestic relationship than being attacked by a rando. DV is more prevalent than being attacked by a rando. Women are more than capable of resolving problems on their own. Conversations, women can get that at work and with friends. Emotional comfort, women are better at it, so one of their female friends will do. And so this goes on to explain that in truth, maybe the past framework about relationship do not apply anymore when it comes to how men and women should engage in relationship. And maybe there is a reimagining of the roles, but it does seem also that men aren't willing to engage in that discussion or compromise or negotiation or whatever it is that you want to call it. Men are not willing to engage in that negotiation. They still want to be the leader and you should submit, and they have nothing to offer you. So women are unwilling to engage in the kind of 1950s stereotype about relationship because they can do without it. Are you good?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it looks tacky, but it is what it is.
You guys have any thoughts? So welcome to the stage, Rico. I see you in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Good morning, sir. Did y'all go to sleep?
Oh yeah, I got some rest.
Oh, okay, all right. I know you be doing this long work.
I was knocked deep. Yeah, I was tired as hell.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree with everything they said, because I think I even said it yesterday that relationships are not supposed to be need based, and I don't think women need men. They just don't. It's just factually true. They should want men, you know what I'm saying? But that's a responsibility on both parties to make the other person want to partner with you. If you can't make them want to partner with you, I can't think of anything that a woman would need a man for. So we can't even say for our sexual pleasure, because each gender can pleasure themselves. So if you talk and have been doing it forever. So we don't need that for survival or to live. This whole narrative about men to protect, I'm like, men protect society. We don't have police forces just for women. They're for the general society to preserve law and order. So men are not out here doing things for women. They're doing it for society. So that narrative, it never stuck with me. It still doesn't. It's a silly argument, because if anything, police are out here interacting through more violent acts of man on man than man on woman. They're consistently, our police and military resources are consistently being, interacting where it's man on man conflict every single day all over the world. It just simply is. So Do women need men for protection? No, because they ain't out there getting into a bunch of shit. It's men. That's just a fact. You know, so it's true whether you like it or not. But I still don't see why these guys got to be lonely, because you just need to learn how to make a woman want and desire your company. You can't make her accept your company. You have to make them want to. As any, like, I don't want to be around every woman, you know, but my wife made me want her. I had to make her want me. It's just that simple. Why they're trying to make it so fucking hard? And partnering, I don't believe everybody needs to partner. I got kids that I don't think need to partner with people because it's just how their personality is. I think it is perfectly socially acceptable for people to be single and not have a partner if they don't fucking want one.
I couldn't agree with that more shit. And especially if you know them better than anybody else knowing.
I agree. I just don't want people saying, "Oh, well, oh, they think it's a flex." No, if you have some kind of vendetta, there's something in you, you're mad about your past traumas, say that. I feel like live and let live. As long as people aren't trying to hurt themselves or someone else, you know what I mean? Then let that crap go. But it seems like everybody is focused on, oh, well, being in the know. Mind you, you can't be in the know if you don't know. And that's just the bottom line. What do you want the people to know about you? Are you contributing, or you just are a part of the mess, a part of the nonsense? You know, a part of the rhetoric, basically. You know?
I agree. Definitely don't want to be a part of the drama all your fucking life, because that's a waste of time.
What were your thoughts on the?
This right here actually made me die laughing because it's true, but it also it made me think about all of these videos that these men put out talking about 50-50, okay? Because look, women are not driving the 50-50 discussion. We have yet to see one woman drive a 50-50 discussion. We don't see, it's not female billionaires in the Black community talking about except the man who can only pay the light bill. So we know that when something affects overall society, it affects the Black community more. So the fact of the matter is, women are self-sufficient. We pay our own bills. Like I don't need a man to come in and pay half of my bills, as high as they is. I would either pay all the bills or get out of my face. Like, pay all of these bills or get out of my face, okay? Because if I'm gonna pay 50-50, I'm just gonna pay 100%, okay?
That's the facts. A lot of women not really coming to this whole thing about 50-50, because what's the point of doing 50-50 if you already got your life together? Like, why would a woman come in and pay half of a fucking man's bills for what? What's the point in that?
Right. And the thing is, the problem I see with the 50-50 is, like, you got to give up, you know, you feel like when I come to my wife, if she got to do 50-50, then she still has half the responsibilities and she got to give up half the control. If I pay 100, then guess what? While she may give up all the control, she has none of the responsibilities. She look at me, you better get out there, nigga, and get it done. She don't say those words, but I
get out and get some.
Yeah, I know that. It's like, oh no, I gotta get it done. The end. Ain't no crying, ain't no complaining. Shut the fuck up, nigga, and get it done. I just have to. Mm-hmm. But I was doing it, as Cynthia said, because my wife was doing it on her own before I met her, and I was doing it on my own. So I don't, I don't knock the 50-50, but I agree with her. Women are not starting that conversation. It's men that are starting the conversation, because I think a lot of these niggas just broke and they just don't want to rise to the occasion. I think they're capable. They just don't want to. I see a lot of them just being lazy. Like, you niggas is just, because I said when there's men around, like, that nigga just lazy. Fuck that shit. So a lot
of men are lazy as hell.
I agree with you right there. They just don't want to take care of nothing. They want to put everything on the women. It's back to the women, right? I totally agree with you. Thank you.
Good morning, Lana Love. Not for everyone says penis is worthless. Worthless? God damn.
We're not there yet. Well, I mean, when they all get chopped off, I guess. You know what I mean?
I said, God damn. Not completely
I can't agree
worthless.
with you there, but good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Lana Love.
Good morning. Could you say almost
for everyone?
No,
Miss not for everyone. Can you say almost worthless?
Yeah, because remember,
men
if you don't take them pills
worth
by a
less
certain
than dirt.
age, over for you.
Priscilla said men are worth less than dirt. That literally a woman can literally start a dirt business and it will become more valuable than a man.
You know what's so funny about that? I don't believe that men are worthless at all. You know, I joke and kid with when I'm in the chat sometimes, but I'm not gonna lie to you. A woman could start she could sell some dirt to a lot of men and women, for sure. Oil and water and everything else, and it might not be as good as it was before it got to you, and people won't complain about it. That's the crazy part.
Jillian says penis holds no value at all. It's worthless. Once you have it, you have it. You lose value after that. According to men, once you get their penis, you lose value. That's what men say. Once you have it, you lose value.
But that's the thing though, because the whole thing is this, but this is why you're not supposed to give it up. And this is why I tell women, I only tell y'all what I know, what I've been through for the most part, personally on my stuff. But like, I try to get it out there. Like, you got to get to know these people regardless of what, because you have to understand that even if it's 10 years from now, if that person decides to leave you, at least you won't feel like you was used and abused. Like, because you knew what was going on. You were a part of it. You know what I mean? Don't give it up. If you don't feel like don't give it up.
I definitely get what you're saying, Happy. I get what you're saying. Let's keep going.
Hey, men are not protecting women. They're standing around.
Can I say something?
Yes. Everything 1003 said Jalen is a sponsor of the show. $50. Thank you.
That's me. That's me. Shout out to Jalen.
That was you, everything? Oh, that's you? Oh, my bad.
That's me on Twitch. That's me on Twitch.
Know that. I didn't know that too. All right.
Yeah, let's get it.
With video recorders, afraid to break a nail, and they're all over the place saying, well, we can't do this, we'll die. Well, what if they shoot me? Well, he might turn around and do something to me too. They're not providers, they're not protectors.
But the protector bit is really interesting to me because women are at a higher risk for DV and interpersonal relationship with people you are dating and than a random person. The article does point this out too. I read this before we came on. A random person is less likely to attack a woman, right? So like, you don't actually need protection from people outside in the world. You actually need protection from the person at home. And so the protection bit is really wild. Like when I actually think about like, oh, you need protection, it's like from you though.
Exactly. Yeah, the DV rates are not.
I disagree, and I don't like that coming from a man, and I would never like it coming from a man when somebody says that, because at the end of the day, a woman needs a protection from everyone, right? Because what was it and what has it been for all of these centuries, right? Men protecting the women and children, correct? Because men don't want to be men, that's their problem. They have no right to then say, oh, well, you don't need protection from everyone. You just only need protection from the people around you. Like, no, absolutely not. Because first of all, you don't know all the people around you. And neither does he, she. Look, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. And I will never accept that, because at the end of the day, you don't understand how many times, because let's not forget, that men need protection from men as well. It's not just women that need protection from men. It's men
Right.
that need protection from men. Okay? And let's be very clear here. I don't care what they say, how many times they call you a hoe, a slut, or whatever. Men are the sluts, men are the hoes more than women could ever be. If you don't believe me, I'll let you know on a later date. Thank you.
Anybody's got any thoughts? I want to go back so I can make sure I respond to what she said in the
Driven
video.
Protection from people outside in the world. You actually need protection from the person at home. And so the protection bit is really wild. Like when I actually think about like, oh, you need protection, it's like from you though. like
Exactly. Yeah.
I think what he's saying,
that's genuine.
right? I think what he was saying is that, and the numbers bear it out from the FBI. Women are more likely. Women do need protection from all men, absolutely. But what he's saying is that, and I think the data bears it out. Most women are typically assaulted by someone they know. That's where the majority of the assaults on women occur. So most women have either by a lover, sometimes it's a sibling, a brother, a father.
No, we're not going to go into that. No, I understood exactly
Hold
what he was
on. Let's go one mic at a time. That way everybody can get their
Okay,
points.
my bad. But I just wanted to let you know, Uncle Rico, I need you to know that. No, I understand exactly what he was saying, though. Thank you.
Okay.
But continue. I just wanted you to know.
That was all I was pointing out. If you understand that, then I don't have anything to add. I was just trying to clear what I thought he said or what he was thinking.
Yeah, and I will never appreciate it because even with him saying it, he even started laughing about it. Now let us go around and laugh at the fact that the men need protection from men and not just the LGBTQIA plus community, okay? But they especially need it from the men, right? All the time because they just hopping on Jack, Grindr, Tinder, wherever. They're going to get a bone or whatever to get a nut, right? How many times all that stuff goes on, right? Nobody brings that to the forefront. Men also need protection from men all the time. But like I said, I will never accept that coming from a man. And then he had the nerve to be laughing while he was saying this shit. Like, absolutely not. How dare you?
I think what he was saying was people in these relationships, especially because like they was talking about specifically during C-19, men were beating on women. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They were beating on women. The domestic violence rates went through the roof. Some of these men were at home with no money, waiting for the government to pay them, having no way to buy their weed, dispensaries closed. They had no way to pay for their fucking plug. There's a million different things that happen. So, as far as the stats show, domestic violence was at an all-time high, and as far as men and women, men know that men need protection from other men because men make fun of men all the time. Men say it all the time. Oh yeah, I'll beat you up in front of your girl. I'm this, I'm that. Men understand violence, right? But there's no excuses for them hitting women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And that's the thing. Men will actually whip on the women, but they will tend not to whip on the men. If you see a man, I don't care if you've been with that man for 5 years, if he prefer to yell at you, but y'all out somewhere, and for whatever crazy reason, he's arguing with a man, and the man want to beat his behind, and he back down out of nowhere. Listen, honey, forget about it.
To Robin M with her $20 cash app. Okay, that means we are $30 away.
Don DeMarco. Shout out to Robin M.
$30 away from our stream goal of $100 today, guys. And she said she want the Crispy Dog fight. So let me go ahead and make sure I give her that. Yeah, Crispy got jumped in the hood. Let's get it.
I guess on me, little girl. Somebody get their child, everybody. Get your child, everybody. Get your black ass on me, little girl. Somebody get their child, everybody. Get your child, everybody. Get off me, everybody.
Man. God damn, Tommy.
Who did this? Who did this?
While we here, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to it. Man. Fuck it, man.
You got me sloppy.
What up, everybody? Chris,
Boy, Chris,
everybody.
everybody.
And I want to make sweet love to one of you ladies, everybody.
So don't look at my heart.
hairline.
Look at my heart, everybody.
Which one of you ladies want to come to my bedroom, everybody? I'll take any one of you, except one of you raggedy black bitches, everybody. Listen to this now. My hairline's falling. Say it. Oh. There ain't no more stalling. I'm trying to decide if I can shave it, baby.
Everybody. Yeah, fuck that nigga Tommy, man. Shout out to Robin M for her $20 cash app. I appreciate you, mama. I put a do-rag around my fucked up hairline. You won't regret it, baby. And I hope it don't get wet, baby. That was a classic right there, man. My bald spots falling for you. I can see my scalp and my bald spots falling for you.
The DV rates are not driven by a random on the street just jumping out. Even when it comes to grape and SA, those are not mostly done by random people. So if we're talking protection, who would we need protection from? And if it's a random person, I mean, there's guns and there's vicious dogs for that. I would get both of them actually. So we really essentially don't need men, but I think that there is an unwillingness to change here because they do think, okay, well, we can still browbeat you, especially in the Black community, because the males are put on such a high pedestal with no expectations and no real requirements that they have to meet to get there. So it's no wonder that Black women are seeing the most resistance to this, where you have a group of bandits who know they're not, because one thing that stood out to me on that video that we were going over themes with RFK and the group of bandits, the bandits sat up there and said, because of child support, something to the effect that they can't even take care of themselves because of the child support that they're paying. It's like, so if that was the case, then you couldn't take care of yourself before the child came. So this is a group of males who are not self.
Yeah, guys, that's not an excuse. You can't say, well, my baby mama put me on child support. Now I can't afford to take care of myself. Oh, boo-hoo. Poor you. Guess what? Nobody cares.
You take care of it. You made it. You take care of it.
You didn't think about your financial situation while you were stroking inside Miss Keeper guts. But now she's supposed to think about you? No.
The bigger problem with that is nobody's thinking about the fucking child. You know what I'm saying? That child needs provisions, period. So that's all if you can't take care of yourself, that doesn't mean you still can't take care of your child. If you have a child, my understanding is your child is supposed to come first. That's supposed to be a parental instinct. That I need the provision for my child. If there's only enough for one of us to eat and it's me and my child, I would hope you would feed the child.
I would hope so too, but it's not always a guarantee.
Right. And that's why I said they say, so if you're saying, well, there's one piece of meat and me and my child, fuck that child, I'm going to eat.
No.
Why should I feel any sympathy towards you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Fuck you.
Hey, good morning, Kiki. Make sure I give Kiki back her wrench. Shout out to everybody that's finding Simp Nation early this morning. All right. We are uploading new videos, guys. We are getting cash apps and donations so we can continue to run the show. I appreciate all you guys. It says on YouTube, 36 people watching, but then on StreamYard, we got 46. So maybe we got some people coming over from Miss Keeper channel. Shout out to Miss Keeper. Okay. Let's get it, guys.
Salute.
Sufficient at all. browbeating women into being in relationships with them, essentially so that they can get homes to lay their head in. they can get somebody, they can get a hot meal at the end of the day. These are just a needy group of men who are trying to shame women, because the shaming tactics do work. We know a lot of women run around here saying that's why you don't have a man, and well, at least she got the ring and things of that sort. So men still.
Yes, those shaming tactics don't work. Like, neither one of my sisters are married, and no man, I mean, no woman or man can approach them and be like, I'm married and you're not married." And well,
Thank you. Thank
my
you.
life,
And
my
that's
life better than
it.
yours.
You
Loser.
prove it right there, Darrell. Exactly. Like, it shouldn't even be that. Like, at the end of the day, these people, I don't understand why people do not understand the concept of sticks and stones. It may break your bones. Like, but come on now, these words, like, really? Especially over the internet. Like, you didn't even hear them say it. You just seeing them type some shit. And you don't even know who that is behind there. Like, it's ridiculous. We didn't grow up that way, you know? I guess I grew up in a different time, and I'm mad that I'm old enough to say that. But this is ridiculous.
No, yeah, we both old. We all old out here, man. You know, we can't help it. Fuck it. We got older. Shit. I'd rather get older than to, you know, really not
Exactly.
live, not live any good life out here, and not have any good experiences with people, women, my family, my
Amen.
children. I live a lot of good life so far, and I'm still young. And hopefully, God bless me with more good years moving forward. But you know, the bandits, they really complain about everything. And Cynthia, like she said in the video, these men were complaining that child support was stopping them from being able to take care of themselves. And at the end of the day, guys, that sounds more like a you problem. That sounds like a you problem. That sounds like something that you shouldn't even be talking to your girlfriend about. If you're struggling, then you shouldn't even be dating. You need to be single. You need to go and jack off and go figure something out. All right? Because unless a woman is really willing to help you build, and if you do, sis, then good luck to you, right? And good luck to y'all. Because some women will do that. But fellas, make sure that you're about that business. Make sure that you're staying on top of that money. Make sure that you're staying on top of all your bills and your responsibilities. If you fail, nobody is going to blame, "Oh yeah, my wife, my baby mama put me on child support and I couldn't feed myself, so I starved to death." They don't call you a bum ass nigga. Yep. I'm sorry. Child support should be something that is extra. You shouldn't be fucking you shouldn't be starving because you're paying child support. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. I don't understand that situation. But then again,
You
I
know
never been
what?
on child support, so
You're so right. And you know what's so crazy? I've never been on child support, and nobody connected to me that I know personally. But I know people. I don't even know how to say it. Let me just stop. Let me just say this part, right? I am also tired of hearing people, especially in the space, always talking about child support, child support, child support. If
right.
you guys aren't even making this quote unquote $40,000 or $50,000 a year, what the hell are you talking about child support for? If you're not even making that, because let's be very clear about it. Depending on the state, well, I'm sorry, it doesn't even depend on the state where you live, because every state, you know what? Whether it's the mother or the father that is on child support, you know what they do? They collect all of your income. They collect all of this stuff, and they take all of that into consideration before they drop those pennies off to these so-called children that you're not in their lives already physically, right? You don't
Right.
talk to them at all, nothing. You're just dropping off your $15 a week, or maybe $15 every 2 weeks, whatever it may be. You got what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
So
got you gently.
nobody
Go
should
ahead.
be complaining about that part.
And
Julie
then they
says
got a
no
nasty ass
shit.
attitude about them little couple dollars and shit. Like, come on. You could have saved yourself with a rubber off that shit, that little fucking 32 ass dollars. Get my ass off that shit. Gone. Ain't nobody getting rich off your punk ass. First thing they want to complain about is their goddamn child support.
You know what? I think that for me, that makes it so strange is I don't know why they always have the child support argument when the numbers show that nearly half these motherfuckers out here are not even paying it.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Uncle Rico, you're so right, because half of them aren't even on child support, and then out of the half that are,
yes,
they're not, and then the other half pay a couple of dollars.
Like, yeah, I'll be blown away. I'll be blown away. I'm like, the last motherfucking thing on this earth that I'm gonna care about is a nigga on child support. Fuck you. I'm just not. I'm not, for all the shit that go on. That's why they do all these, oh, we gotta fight child support, the family law. No, it's not. It is not. Most of you raggedy motherfuckers don't even pay. Half of you are not on it. And don't give me that bullshit narrative about women being on government assistance, because most of these women work full time and they don't qualify. They're taking care of their kids on their fucking own.
Exactly.
I know that to be true. I'm sorry. Go ahead, ladies.
No, I agreed. I just said exactly. My bad. I just kept saying exactly. Like, you keep hitting it. Tell them, preach. Shoot.
It just blows me away. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They impregnate these women, they move the fuck on with their life, and they look for the next victim. That's what they do. Yeah. Now, there are some men that are responsible, but I'm not. I'm like, if this so-called epidemic is bullshit. It just is. All the bullshit, the epidemic about the phosphorus, it's all bullshit. These niggas is just lazy and fucking sorry, and that's why the law was implemented. And I hope they continue to take your driver's license. I hope they continue to deny you a passport. I don't give a fuck if they throw you in jail. Take care of your fucking kids.
Now remember, if they got thrown in jail, that must mean they ain't paid the bill of $15. And how long?
Right.
But they crying about, oh, like, it's so unfair to me.
How dare they defend that shit? For real.
Shit, some of these motherfuckers, they kids gonna be on child support, paying child support, and they still paying child support for these motherfuckers.
That's crazy, right? And then they want to come back, oh, when the child is 18 or 21, if they still in school, right?
And act like they parents.
The child is still in school. They on the hook.
Hey, son, I haven't seen you since you was a kid. You about to graduate? Yeah. I guess
yeah, and try to get them out of it, right? They don't even want their child to go to college. They don't want them sons going to college doing nothing. Great. But they don't want them baby doing nothing because they still owe.
That nigga will wake up and see his child in the newspaper. Oh, he about to be a singer or a football star. Oh, now the nigga just want to show up and be daddy of the year. Fuck.
That's what happened with Shaquille O'Neal. Let me get to Jilly comments before we keep going. Jilly says, no, Cynthia is right. Women are out here stunning. Sorry. No, she's correct. Women are out here exactly doing what she's saying. It's the flex. It's better than you. Let me keep going to the next one.
I'm better than you.
Yes, it's I'm better than you if you didn't win. Thank you. Sorry, I got confused. I got confused for a second.
Victor,
my bad.
You can't receive government assistance while working. It depends on how much you make, sir. It's all
don't be a fucking bandit.
It's income based. Stop. See, that's what's fucked up, because y'all push the narrative that just if a woman have a baby, she automatically get a check from the government. That is total, complete bullshit.
Exactly.
It's income based, and even niggas be getting checks from the government based on their income.
Exactly. And even motherfuckers that just got out of fucking prison.
Jail. Yes.
They will come out of prison. They be getting more food stamps than a motherfucker, more motherfucking checks than a motherfucker. Like, who lied to you? That's why I know. And this is why I try to stay away from those combos. When I'm in this, I'm like, listen, I don't even want to go around what this bullshit is, because at the end of the day, I guess they already dislike me, but I'm just going to state the facts, you know?
But the reason why they say that is they can weaponize it to then bash women. See, because of it, and I was like, that's not true. Stop weaponizing bullshit and then trying to use it as something to bash women for. I'm down the middle. I know that shit's not true. You don't have a baby and get a fucking check. They look at your income. Oh no, you make too much money. Beat it. You don't qualify for
exactly.
No Medicaid, no
and
nothing.
They don't care if you eat or not. You make $1 over there.
Exactly. Like, well, we may have, at least you could go to a pantry or something. It's been done before. It
Yeah.
has been done before. I'm telling you, it's so crazy because a man coming out of prison or jail, like you said, depending on how long he was in there, right? Because some of them are staying in jail if they got a different amount of years up to a certain amount, and the other shit is not flooded. They could potentially stay there by the grace of God, right?
Yep.
Whatever. I don't know. I think prison is better than jail, but then again, I've never been to prison. Okay, nah, my bad. No, but seriously, like these men are coming straight out and get all the benefits in the world. They should be on before a week, 2 weeks, all that shit. But a mom, or even if a woman without whatever, I'm telling you, it's not that easy. They're going there with a motherfucking jail shit. Listen, you can have all your thing, your birth certificate, all this, all that crap. DMV. Well, how about them DMVs? It's always a damn issue.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
why
They will send you everywhere. They're like,
agree.
oh, you office again, but they will send you everywhere for anything and everything. But that man that just got out of prison, he in there like swimwear. Like, what?
That's why I just say all these facts.
And some of these brothers do that on purpose. They intentionally don't pay the child support just so they can go do the couple of days they gonna get.
Child support should not be a reason why you can't feed yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go back and forth real quick, Rico, for like another 5 before I play the video, while I roll my next blunt up and stuff. But child support should not be a reason why a man can't take care of himself. I'm sorry, dog. Unless they like Rico, I mean, what they doing, taking 70% of these niggas checks? I don't think so. So
They don't
no.
do that. They do not
you
do
know
that.
Like I said, they get
part
all
of
the grace.
Nope.
Hold on. Let's get happy. Let's get happy, Miss Keeper, and then Rico. Let's let the ladies go first, and then the gents speak. Yeah, I don't think they taking most of these dudes checks. So y'all just making excuses.
But the thing is, what I said before, I think they get the most courtesy. You get what I'm saying?
I gotta grab my coffee, but I'm
whatever down. It could
back.
be a lot, but if they say, go ahead. No, read what you're gonna read.
I'm gonna grab my coffee. I'll be right back.
Oh,
good morning. It's not for everybody.
All right.
Yeah,
they could get the most. You get what I'm saying? They take all that in consideration. The brother be like, yeah, I got this and that, but this is cost this much, this cost that much, and all he got is a few pennies for his child, and that's what they're gonna say he got to pay those few pennies.
Yeah,
so
some of the amount that dudes are paying is fucking ridiculous. I mean, I think like the most they'll take might be like 30. It depends on the state, but sometimes it's like 30%. Something like that. And but I'm like, nigga, you still got 70% of your money. So what are you talking about? And that's for your child. And that's also based on the income of the other parent. So if you procreated with a woman and you make 6 figures and she makes 6 figures, then guess what? You know, because they take both parents' income into effect. Now, if you making 100,000, you decide that you want to knock up somebody with no fucking job, that's your decision. That's your choice. You basically chose to impregnate someone with no income, so they have no income of hers to consider. They're going to consider it on yours. But again, even in those cases, it's never more than enough. Basically, you won't be able to keep balling like you. Basically, you will not be able to live like you didn't have a child, nor should you. That's what the state said.
Can I add one thing to that as well? Because I'm glad that you mentioned that, and I'm glad. Victor Hart said it in the chat, and somebody else said it in the chat, but it has scrolled up. That also they do. It is different everywhere, right? But on top of the fact that also take into consideration the other parent, right? In this case, the mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing about that is that they what is it that they do? You know what?
Formula.
I'll get back to it. No, but it's something else too, because not only do they take all that into consideration, they you know what? When I get it, I'll be right back.
They take into consideration other children. You see what I'm saying? So when these guys be crying, I'm like,
bingo.
No, there's a lot of things.
That's another one. That's another one. But that wasn't the one I was talking about. But you're so right.
Yes. And it's like, so when they come up with a number, I paid and I received child support. I know child support back. I paid in multiple jurisdictions. I received in multiple jurisdictions, different states, Maryland, DC, and the state of Georgia. I'm like, yes, but there's formulas when they look at your income, they look at the parents' income, they look at additional children, and I think at one point, I think Georgia was trying to make me pay 25%. And I even had that adjusted because I had to fly to court and had to tell them I would have a problem with paying 25% of my income for my daughter here if I didn't have 5 other children. So then the court said, oh, okay. So they lowered the amount based on that. I said, I'm not trying because I was already paying it, but they wanted to increase it. And they was like, oh, we need 25% of your income. I'm like, I got 5 other children. Now, they're not all biological. I had stepchildren and stuff like that, but I was married to their mother, so they were still my responsibility. So I couldn't go like, oh, them other 3 kids, I ain't got shit to do with. Like, no, I got to feed and support their ass too. Just like the 2 that's mine, just like the 1 that's here. So, they worked it out, and then we came up with a payment, and it was like, okay, fine. And I continued to pay it.
Also, depending on the state, this quote unquote money that these people supposedly get, do you know, depending on the state, they have to pay that back. So let's just say the dad starts paying child support, right?
Yes, a state tax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the woman is not going to receive that whole damn payment, right?
Right.
If anything. So I don't know what these people be talking about.
Because part of it, and that's what they complain.
They don't read everything.
They said, oh, the state. I said, no, what the state does is this. So if you're, say, the state of Georgia, and say the woman was on TANF before, and because of your child, so when that child support does start, the state will take a portion of that to repay the state, to repay the taxpayers that supported your child when you fucking wasn't doing it. And guys also like to think, oh, I'm just going to duck until they hit 18. I knew a dude that I worked with that was 36 years old. His mother was still getting child support for him.
That's what I'm saying.
Grown ass man. I'm like, yeah, because you didn't pay it.
Because they wait to the end, and that's one thing. I'm like, if these men or even women who pay child support are serious, one thing you do, first of all, put yourself on child support. And even if for some reason you don't physically do it, keep all of your receipts.
Yes.
Keep all of your receipts because it helps you in the long run. Because you don't want to be that person.
All right, let's get back to it, man.
Put yourself on those receipts. Put yourself on child support. You be fine. But they have everybody believing that, oh, if you on child support, oh, there's something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking care of your child. Since when is it wrong? I'll never understand.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. And welcome back, Miss Knife, everybody.
Hello, Snip Guy.
How you doing, beloved?
I was gonna say that they keep asking for all this stuff, and I'm just like that's not gonna happen because like all the stuff that I think Killer Mike was asking for, like they've already done that. They did it before the 90s when people were on child support. If they didn't pay, they didn't pay. There was no penalties or nothing. Due to the fact that people kept not paying, that's where the penalties came into play. They're not going to reverse that. Yeah, that was the problem in the first place. They're not going to reverse that when they saw a collective of people, more specifically men, who didn't want to pay just because they just didn't want to.
It's being selfish ass broke bandits. They didn't want to do nothing but just get free vagina and then just go ahead.
You're speaking on to what she said and what you were saying earlier to tie it in about this whole, you were talking about the whole domestic violence and stuff. Some of these men knew they wouldn't be able to even see their children without first going to the court because of their situation. It's like, okay, well, go to family court. You want to see your child. Men haven't even taken those steps yet. They're on the internet acting like it's the woman's fault, right?
Which is the problem. That's one of the main problems that we have.
Oh, and women as well, because I'm not excluding none of that.
Make sure I read Queen Gently. Queen Gently and all of her comments. Black women are the least to receive child support. Black women are the least to put black men on child support. And when they are on child support, $40 can't pay. Most men can't pay $40. Yeah, that's true. According to statistics, that's true. Good morning, Fearless. Fearless, let me know which side of the Detroit you on. East side, west side, where you at, man? Jalen said, let's talk about how women come from other countries and have free babies. That's a fact. That's a super fact. I have a lot to say.
Yes.
And she says, I have a lot to say. I was texting autocorrect. But the free baby stuff, I'll get into that. Let me read all these comments first. I'll start that one and I'll get back to it. Victor, we skipping your comments. You're a bandit. Emil says, I couldn't get any kind of assistance for my daughter because I worked a full-time job, even though I was not getting child support from my ex-husband. Child.
Facts.
Only 10%. Victor being a bandit. Victor being a bandit. All right, let's go.
Still have a lot of power when it comes to the relationship dynamic. Despite the fact that the relationships are more in favor of men than women, men still possess a lot of power. And that's the reason why they are unwilling to change. You have to remove the power from them in order to leverage some kind of change.
Yeah, but the thing is, because I am, you bringing up that panel actually highlights for me another problem, and it's a problem of like securing and protecting a good image. And it doesn't feel like, maybe this is a black man specific thing, it doesn't feel like they care at all, because this candidate is an independent. He's not likely to win. However, this was, in my mind, an opportunity to highlight what political activism looks like from a black man's perspective, and to push agenda that would be in favor of black men, to highlight the issues surrounding black men specifically. Child support is not that issue. Child support is not a black man issue. If it's an issue, it is a custodial parent, non-custodial parent issue. It is not a black man's, it's not even a man issue, really. If you were the custodial parent, you could go get child support from the woman. And so I also...
That's a fact. As long as you are the custodial parent, whether you're a man or a woman, you can get child support. But so many of these fucking derelicts are refusing to go to court. Every single time anything happened with my kids, I had to go to court. And I went to court and I showed up, and it was just that simple. Just that simple. And it's super easy. The only thing you gotta do is go to court, take all your paperwork, and plead your case as a fit parent. That's the start.
Yeah. But you gotta be custodial. That's the key. You gotta have them fucking kids. I received child support, but I had my kids. They lived under my roof, and I didn't live with my mama. So
and
I went in there with
under a certain amount of time.
Multiple bedrooms, all
that's
that.
That's a fact.
And give me
you have to have your own lease. You have to have your own lease too, bandits.
Which most of these Negroes don't have. They living with their girlfriend or their baby mama.
Most niggas don't know nothing about that.
Or their new baby mama or their mama or some shit like that. So I'm like, you're not even in a position to be a custodial parent, which you should have been in before you impregnated her.
Child. Most of these bandits don't give a fuck about what they doing with they peen. As long as they peen is getting something wet on it, they don't care.
They show up to court with that Ken attitude. I'm a man. Like, shut the fuck up.
Nah, I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I was kind of being messy. I might save it for tomorrow for Smoke Saturdays. But I saw that Sharon on Sharon channel, Truth and Lee was arguing, and I'm not doing messy stuff no more, but guys, if you're over 40 and you're arguing about bullshit online, you both look like clowns. But Truth in particular looked like more of a clown. I'm just being honest. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, what was the argument? Because I don't even know what the argument was. Because by the time I just get over there, he's gone. Truth is gone. And I'm glad
Truth is broke. Truth is poor. So when they spend money to drop him, he'd never come back. You can spend $20 to drop Truth, and he's gone for the whole show. He'd never child. He never come back.
I can't say nothing about that because look, I like to budget my money. Let's just say my budget was X amount, right? A day. I'm never gonna tell y'all how much that is, but I'm just saying, look, I'm sticking to my budget on that day. Unless the other days I didn't spend that money, then
that nigga broke. And they're gonna spend no money happy.
No, we already know that. I said, what was the argument? Come on now.
I ain't listened to it. I ain't watching the show. I just got word that the niggas over there arguing.
Okay, I was watching the show, but I'm listening to this because I'm over here. I'm on this panel. But So now I get over there, he's gone. But my thing is, I never like listening to him anyway. But
Oh,
I don't
true.
want to try to corrupt anybody. Hey, what's up, Black Beauty? Corrupt anybody or anything? You know what I mean? I
That
don't want
nigga is
anybody telling me with that bullshit. Like my thing is, I know for a fact how certain people are, so it's just like I'm good. You know, that's all.
that nigga's a bandit and a loser. Let's go.
So heard you talk
Right.
about this yesterday. So it's like really odd to me that in a policy conversation, child support took center stage. Like it looked weak and just like really sad.
Mhm.
And see, that's another thing too that should be factoring into the rise in lonely men. Because in addition to you being emotionally unintelligent, violent in the relationship, both verbally and physically, in addition to the woman, her health declining, you don't even want to take care of your children. So, of course, if I'm looking at that type of man who's sitting up complaining about child support, that's not a man I want to have any type of interaction with. That's not nothing. Because if you're going to sit up here and ask for executive orders so that you don't have to pay your child support, that's telling me that I can't afford to have a kid with you. I can't afford to date you. I can't afford to have sex with you because sex can lead to pregnancies. I can't afford to deal with you at all. So I think that's just one more element, obviously specific to the Black community, because RFK said in his community that ain't an issue. And I'm going to go with what this white man is saying about the white community. In addition to the fact that I don't see them around here asking for executive orders to stop child support. So all of these are pieces of a mind.
You muted, Simp God.
Thank you. I said this is exactly true. Part of the reason why these bandits are lonely is because they cannot afford a relationship, right? They cannot afford to have sex. They can afford to buy condoms. They can afford nothing, right? And when women are saying that they want a family, that they want marriage and everything else, men are hearing cha-ching, cha-ching, and money that they don't fucking have, all right? It's just that simple. Marriage costs these days. Having a quality woman costs these days. You think it don't cost me money to go back and forth and see fucking MJ in New York and get hotels? And even if I was in New York, you think it wouldn't cost to be her man? To live a certain type of lifestyle? Of course it
At the
would.
end of the day, your personal relationship with who you want to be with and all of that, even if it's just friendships, you know, just regular, you know, whatever, you know, no love interest per se, like the
Cost
way you
money.
talk about your woman, your wife, it wouldn't even matter because that's nobody else's business at the end of the day. What you
Hold on,
got
hold on,
to
hold
say,
on. Let's make sure we address what they say in the
yes,
video, right? Right. Just so we can
y'all.
stay on topic, right? So we can stay
Yeah.
on topic and not drift to a million different things. What did
No,
she
I'm
say in the
not trying
video?
to go into a million different things, Darrell, but go ahead. Because
No, I just want to make sure we stick on on a topic, and
no,
I
I
don't want
am
to keep
speaking to the
drifting off.
topic.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I know we on two different channels at the same time, baby. I know you see me because I see you. But listen, I'm right there with you, Bets. Darrell, what I'm saying is about that though. The main point is though, it's still nobody's business. You know what I'm saying?
What's nobody's
It
business?
shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't even matter at the end of the day what these people think. And the fact that these people want to blame what they're going through in their life on everybody else, mind you, not family, friends, not friends, not whoever people they know, they want to blame the whole world for some shit. It is pretty ridiculous. And the fact that they think they could sum it all up and it's one stream, just in general, the way they're going at it, no. I just feel like it is just gunning toward, yes, the Black man. I agree. Don't get me wrong. I agree with some of the stuff they're saying, like, because it has happened. Okay, of course, duh. But I don't believe that the way they're going on about it, nah, it's just too much. It's too commercial for me. You know what they call filler, or at least what they used to call filler, is it just a bunch of fluff, you know? Anybody can say something like that and run for candidacy. Does that mean we should vote for them because they're throwing out that fluff? You know, They're giving us the filler. No, absolutely not.
And if they want to have all them kids, that's up to them, and then they have to pay for it. But I don't feel sorry for people that have to pay child support at all, men or women. I don't feel sorry for them at all. How much
Agreed.
they paid, none of that. It's just like you laid there, you made it. You knew what was gonna happen. There, it was a possibility, but you knew what was gonna happen when that ended up. And then after the first kid, after the second kid, it's like at a certain point, you know what the fuck you expect. You just doing this shit now. But I don't feel some type of way about people who have a whole bunch of, I got 3 baby mamas and I got to pay everybody just what. I don't give a fuck. You fuck them mamas, you made them baby. There you go. You got to take care of them. You say you do that. You could have wore a condom or just decided not to do that with her. That's somebody you need to be with inside the family. Either way, it ain't my problem.
But
absolutely.
My question I'm asking is, why is it a loneliness problem because you ain't getting no pussy? You know what I'm saying?
Hey!
You shouldn't be lonely because you're not getting pussy.
Happy was booted for 15 minutes. $20. Happy got 15 minutes until she can come back. Just let you all know. All right.
But I just don't understand why they equate I'm lonely because I'm not fucking. Like if you ain't, but because it's incels voluntarily don't have sex, but they're not, well, some of them are, but some of them are healthy and, well, some of them are not lonely. So
another
I just
$20. Bam.
You can say
another $20 just added to Happy. So she got 40. So she got 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
So my only thing would be like, I'm like, if you're a father and you got multiple kids and you can't get the pussy no more, develop a relationship with your children. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be lonely because you got kids. You need to be helping to raise them and nurture them and teach them things. So you shouldn't. I ain't never been lonely since the day that my kids came into this world because they won't leave me the fuck alone. So if you're a type of father that you don't have a relationship with your children, that's your fault. You're the adult. You're supposed to foster that relationship.
See, that's why I ain't. But see, Rico, they weren't even talking about that in the video yet. Right. They was talking about men complaining about child support and how they cannot sustain themselves, and that's why they're lonely and dating. Right? That's why I kind of wanted to make sure that we stay on the topic. I'm not saying that you wasn't.
No.
But when we sway away, we start talking about different shit. And I didn't I've been trying to finish these videos the last few days. First, Jay Prince didn't let me do it, but let's keep going.
You said that's contributing to the fact that nobody wants to date them. But I do think the issue is bigger in the Black community. I think it's bigger. I think when you have an article that talks about the expectation of women, I think it's excluding Black women largely. And this is why I promote standards, expectations, and boundaries, because I know it's missing from the socialization of women in the Black community for obvious reasons. You can't be a male worshiper and then have standards, expectations, and boundaries. Like those run contrary to each other. So this is missing in the community, but it needs to be established. Women are starting to have more standards and expectations. They are. Unfortunately, it's just not Black women. It's just not.
Do you think, how do I put this properly? Do you think, I know your answer is no to the question of, do you think women want too much, right? But I'm trying to reframe it. That's the question I want to ask. But do you think that I sit, for example, and men who are doing well sit from a place of privilege, judging other men who are not economically successful, and maybe they don't know how to engage or don't have the capacity to engage? Like, do you think we expect, not even just women, we expect too much from men?
No, I don't think we expect enough. And what's really interesting here to me is that the expectations that men are saying that women have that are unreasonable are the expectations that were set on men by men in a patriarchy. So it's like you're mad that women are expecting you to do what men said you should be doing as a man in a patriarchal society, which is providing and protecting for the most part. So I think that we don't expect enough. I think we should be expecting way more than that. But I am noticing how many men are saying, oh, well, the woman wants you to make a certain amount of money and drive a certain car and do all these things for her. Okay, those are the expectations that were set by patriarchy. All she's essentially saying that you should do is step up to the mantle of manhood that men created. These are the requirements that men have created in order for you to be seen as a man in a patriarchal society.
Muted them, God.
I keep muting myself. I don't know why. Thank you so much for helping me. So again, she's absolutely right. The standards that women are setting on men today are the ones that has been set by society. Men expect a certain type of lifestyle and women to be slaves and maids, but they don't want to provide the lifestyle that society said that you have to provide. Men tell other men that you a bum if you don't take care of your kids, if you don't make a certain amount of money. Or you work at the Amazon warehouse, you a bum. Or you work at McDonald's, you a bum. Are you the average man? You a bum. Then they go around and they tell women to respect the average man, to look at the average man like he is a prize. Not understanding how confusing that is. To watch men belittle other men, to watch men tell other men, oh yeah, I make $60,000 a month on AntonDaniels.com. You're just a firefighter. You're a bum. But that's what's happening out here. And then they go back and they tell women that firefighter that make $20,000 a year, he's a prize. After the woman just watched you shit on that man. Right? So again, men set these societal standards all the time. Any pushback before we keep going?
No, I agree with that 100%.
All right, let's get it.
That to me is really interesting and ironic.
Austin, we miss you so much. I hope you're well. Oh, can wake up makeup? Can you drop? Let me see if I got it. I can drop it. That is since Cash App. I do see a lot of super chats. Instead of super chatting, you guys can like send the question or whatever. I don't know how Cash App really work for real. Because like I also don't like YouTube just like getting paid for no reason. Finn, you look radiant, even more than before, if that was possible. You do look amazing.
Well, at least this stress ain't tearing me down. So, and it's not. I know it's everyday normal, just lifing stress, but when life chooses to life, it really be doing it, don't it? So I'm glad that I can still maintain even through the stress. But thank everybody for the compliments. I really do appreciate it. But I just think that this is showing us like a ton about the psyche of men. And I think that women should really pay attention to it, especially when we look at the dialogues that Black men are having. Because one thing we discussed during my live stream yesterday was Africa and how the continent and nearly all the countries in it, except for South Africa, because we know that South Africa, for the most part, is governed by white people. We know that, they're influenced in other parts of the other continent, but mostly in South Africa, it is nearly exclusively ran by white people. You have, though, a bunch of Black men who in every way, shape, and form subscribe to misogyny. Okay, we already know that. It's no different on the continent in the mindset with the female mutilation, with the lack of women's rights, there's no restrictions on age of consent or anything like that. So you have a group of men who are extreme.
She just hit on every single thing we talk about in this space. Let's go back. I want to hear those exact three things.
No different on the continent in the mindset with the female mutilation,
We talked about this on Hemp Channel. the female mutilation, how they're actually cutting women up and cutting their different body parts just because they want to be with men, because they want to be with different men of different fucking religions, right? So let's start there. The females being mutilated by the men.
Lack of women's rights.
The lack of women's rights. Again, black men don't even create the goddamn laws in America, but yet they want to cut back women rights. I don't even understand that. Sir, you barely got rights your goddamn self. And here it is. You think that you're in a position to tell somebody else what rights they will or will not have? Robin M says, I don't understand people. Why would you want someone on your channel who talks shit about you and your family? I can't speak on that. I'm not in a position to speak on that, Robin, because what they're going to say is, well, Darrel talked about Sharon families too. So, but I get what you're saying. Me personally, nobody can be on my channel that did those things and didn't at least give an apology. But it is what it is. Shout out to everybody that donated. We have reached our $100 goal for the day, guys, but let's keep going. Okay. Happy comes back in about 22 minutes and let's keep going.
With there's no restrictions on age of consent or anything like that. So you have a group of men who are extremely patriarchal and misogynistic. We hear them all the time talking about the man should be the lead, the man is the head, the Bible said, the Christians said the man is the lead. But then these are the very males who also push against those requirements of the man being the lead, the characteristics of the man being the lead, the characteristics of patriarchy for these very patriarchal, misogynistic males. They're pushing back on that when women say, okay, well, you're the lead. That's fine. Now we need you to build. We need you to be providers. We need you to be protectors. We need you to be organized. We need you to get this community together. I think that's really interesting because if you look at the continent and you really do the research, I don't even want to say it's a patriarchal system. It's a misogynistic system.
Yeah, but isn't that
that's what she said? First of all, the men would throw the Bible in women's faces. Oh yeah, the Bible this, the Bible that, and like the women would say, well, the Bible says you're supposed to lead. That means you're supposed to get up there and work every day. You're supposed to go out there and cut down trees and build homes. Lead, and shut the fuck up doing it too. Okay, and shut the fuck up doing it too.
Period.
But at the end of the day, y'all bandits, y'all tell women, oh yeah, well the Bible says you're supposed to keep your legs closed. Sir, are you going to give me a ring before marriage? I mean before you fuck? Are you going to buy me a diamond ring, give me a dowry, right? Like they do in fucking Bridgerton. Give me a dowry, motherfucker. And then, right, also pay for the wedding, nice dress, all that shit. Oh, no, you're not. You're expecting to get, how y'all say it? You want to test the car before you buy it? Child. What is wrong with you fucking derelicts today?
Then I need to test your bank account. No, well, then don't ask me for that shit.
I need to test your leadership. I need to test your bank account. I need to test your credit card limit. Test your credit. See if I can test to get a house. Test to get a motherfucking Tesla.
Exactly. What kind of test drive can I get on that credit? Exactly.
But you don't want to get a test drive on that, but you're supposed to get a test drive on this vagina. You out your goddamn mind. You out your goddamn mind. Let's keep going, ladies.
That's sort of like a la carte patriarchy. I'm taking your a la carte from Christianity and applying it to patriarchy. But in that way...
hold on. Let's see what's going on in chat real quick. Fearless said, Fearless, hit me up. Make sure you hit me and Jen up. We in your area. Robert M says, gently, they letting Fatty in his chat and he done made community post after community post talking shit about Sharon. I think Fatty got me blocked, so I don't be seeing Fatty in the chats. I don't be seeing him. Yeah, I did apologize. I talked to Brownsville, talked to Sharon, you know. I'm stand up. If I don't really got no real smoke with you, I don't got no real smoke with you. Straight up. We ain't about to be beefing unless we really got some real beef. Otherwise, this shit fake and it's pointless. You feel me? Let's get back to the video though. Good morning, Asteria. Good morning. Yeah, he had. Yeah, that nigga blocked me, so it is what it is.
I can see a pushback here being, well, colonization. Before colonization, we were kings and we were drinking mango juice.
Well, if you do the research, then you know that colonization doesn't really have a lot to do with Black men's misogyny towards women. Their misogynistic and hatred for women and thinking women is beneath them, it predates colonization. If you really do the research, it kind of predates it because you can look at like some of the stuff that the Moors were doing, which is pre-colonization, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can look at what the Moors were doing and different groups of Black men were doing in different areas to see that their misogyny predates colonization. So they can say that, yeah, they can say it, but if you do the research, no, absolutely not. No. When you're selling the women and children off before you even come into contact with any form of racial oppression, when you're selling your women and children into sex trafficking, that right there is a testament that you already had a disdain, a devaluing of females prior to you even being colonized. You already.
Yes, Black men in different tribes were already, they were selling the women and children for fruit, vegetables, and anything else that they wanted, minerals, weapons, whatever. Whatever their tribe could not provide for themselves, they use women as a natural resource. Here's a pretty bride. You can have her. Give me 20 horses, right? Give me 60 pigs. Turn those pigs into bacon. We eat those, right? Some people even traded women for armies. Shit, one woman can equal 1,000 men. Shit, give me give me Princess Daenerys, and you can have the whole Dothraki army, and the horses, all 38,000. So yes, I mean the men already show that they have a certain amount of Hey, Miss Keeper, good morning, and good morning, Asteria.
Darrell, I absolutely agree with that. But I would point out that what Sin says is absolutely true. It predated colonization, but it also existed even within a lot of European societies as well. What I would say the difference is they evolved over time where they no longer do that. And she is absolutely correct that in most African countries, they haven't evolved. They just simply, that's what the problem is African in Africa have not fully evolved out of a lot of those outdated, fucked up traditions and customs. They still practice misogyny against women. That's just a fact. White people used to do it. They stopped. They evolved. Africans, for whatever reason on the continent, and they are pretty subservient to fucking white domination no matter what. So she's correct.
All right, let's keep going, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button. We want to make sure we get to 500 subscribers immediately. So make sure you share the video out too, all right? I appreciate you all. Let's get it.
Had it. They just exploited it.
All right, so patriarchy, obviously, I agree in the sense that patriarchy existed prior to colonization. Like to suggest that European colonization of African and Caribbean country introduced patriarchy would be wild. So I was sort of joking. But on the flip side of that, isn't this part of kind of how global politics have developed, where men see themselves, and also women, let's be fair, women see men as superior to women, which we're going to get into a video right now about the education and women actually being able to learn in ways that were not foresaw. People did not see. So isn't this just kind of how society have organized around manhood and womanhood? Men are seen as leaders where women aren't seen as that so much.
I think women's women's internalized inferiority is mostly due, as it pertains to men, it's mostly due to religion. That's what I believe. It's mostly due to religion, because where you may have certain women who do not believe in racial superiority and inferiority, they will believe in gender-based inferiority and superiority. And if you ask them why, they're going to reference religion. Like they will say, well, the Bible said the man is the head and the woman is what the tail or whatever.
That's super facts. They would say, "Well, I don't believe in racism, but I do believe that women are not as strong as men, or they're not leaders because that's the way that God made it, the way that the Bible made it." So their patriarchy, hatred, their misogyny is rooted in patriarchy and religion. That's a fact.
Bible says the man should be above the woman, that the woman should submit to the man. And we find this dynamic across the board in every Abrahamic religion. It puts woman beneath man. So this is like, I believe religion is the start of it. And then, because essentially, like, wasn't patriarchy developed based off religion?
So this is interesting, right? Because the oldest, it would be Judaism. When we're talking about the Abrahamic religion, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, right? Even if we're looking to the Old Testament, no, I think ideas around patriarchy and subjugation of women predates at least the Abrahamic faith and religions. And so, because in the historical text, that if we are to read them, it does treat women as sort of second-class citizen, as objects to be traded with, to be bartered, and not seen as full human. And the development of the world, obviously there were matriarchal societies, so I don't want to ever speak as if those don't exist. The question, though, is, now that we're in the contemporary world and we see the capacity of women, right, in a society that requires higher thinking and learning, it seems that the Platos and the Socrates were incorrect in their assertion that women's faculties were not made for reasoning, right? And they were excluded. It's interesting because women were completely kind of excluded from learning. So the system of learning or education.
Sorry, I keep muting
I was
myself.
about to say you're muted.
I gotta stop it. I'm sorry. I keep multitasking. I'm editing and stuff. Men took education away from women because they knew it would be easier to control women that way. In the same ways that they took voting away, they took loans away. If you couldn't go to school, you couldn't get a loan, you can't do a goddamn thing. That means that your livelihood for the rest of your life is attached to a man, whether it's your father or your husband. It's just that simple. What education did was it gave women the autonomy to make their own fucking lifestyle, because they can get their own job, make their own amount of money, and provide the same lifestyle that the woman has, who's getting up every day, sucking dick and making cookies and being a wife, right? And again, when we add up those different things that the husbands are asking for, they want you to cook, clean, be a babysitter, all this shit. And when you add those things up, all right, go to the daycare and pay a babysitter for a month. We're talking about thousands of dollars. At least I'm gonna say at least $3,600 a month for one kid. If you have if you're going to the daycare, and that's me being very generous, right? Very generous. What else? Cooking. I can imagine how much you would spend on a personal chef every month, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're asking a woman to do all these different things that if she charged you what it will actually cost you to get these services, you couldn't even afford them. You couldn't even afford them.
Facts.
But
MJ said that earlier. Oh, sorry, she said that yesterday. She said all the things that women do in relationships that goes unpaid. She said it's the sum of $200,000 a year. That's six figures. You know damn well these men ain't got no six figures, so you can't even afford a wife. You can't even afford a woman.
what I also think is, I think Sim was right in the point that And think I think they both were right that maybe the patriarchy pre-existed Abraham religions. Even if that being the case, religion certainly reinforced it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what it did is solidified and cemented it in women's minds that based on religion, if they, they couldn't have gotten enlightened from it because now you indoctrinated society, even to the point that men believe that shit. People who are not deeply rooted, like I have no deep rooted affiliation in any religion, but I believed it because it's part of an indoctrination. Religion is a form of indoctrination. It's what they want the masses to believe in and to follow and to try to emulate their life around. Oh, we have, the 10 deadly sins and so on and so forth. We're all taught that. It's sort of like they talk about schools being indoctrination. It's the same thing with religion. So we just basically, I think she was right in that where patriarchy started, I don't know, but I know damn well that religion certainly reinforces it to a millionth degree. So that's that.
Damn, can y'all niggas hear me on here?
Yeah, you got two up there was creating an echo.
Oh damn, hold on. Let me connect to my headphones. All right, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we can hear you with the echo this time.
Yeah, my bad. I had my mic turned up all the way on my Mac, and I'm on my iPhone now while I go downstairs and smoke real quick. The thing about it is, Rico, is a lot of the men today, they literally make all these excuses on their fucking own. They want women to do all these different things, and a lot of women, Rico, they'll do it for the freeskies. But they want to be treated right. You got to treat them a certain type of way. You can't treat women like shit and expect them to take care of you. It don't work that way. When they can be doing anything else or doing the same thing for a man that treat them the way that they want to be treated. Free just that simple, dog. It's not even, rocket science.
It really isn't. If you want that, you're gonna have to give a lot to get it. You ain't getting nothing for free. Shoot. It's always a trade-off. If you're exchanging energy, you have to give the energy back. Otherwise, you're depleting the other person. Eventually, they're just gonna get rid of your ass anyway because they're not getting nothing from that. They're just getting depleted. That's ridiculous.
That's a fact. They're getting depleted. They're getting drained of their energy, and to what means? To what ends?
You know what's really crazy, and I think about it, and it blows my mind. And so I'm like, most of these guys complaining. I'm like, you don't even have to give much because most women aren't asking for much. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I've never met someone that asked me for a whole lot. So it's easy for me to give that in abundance. Most niggas, again, I keeps coming back to me. I'm like, y'all just lazy. You don't want to do shit, and you want everything given to you. I call them titty babies. I'm like, you're forever sucking on mama tit. When the fuck are you gonna grow up and mature and act like a man?
Yeah.
They're not interested in doing that, Rico. They're not interested in act like a man. It's easier to act like a bitch ass nigga and still have men support you and tell you, oh, you still deserve gently. You still deserve Miss Keeper. You still deserve a happy, or you still deserve it's not for everybody. You deserve a baddie. And she better suck your dick and make you cookies. She better be submissive. She better be kind. She better be loving. Right? They're not going to tell you that you are supposed to be those things also. That maybe she might need a break. What can you do to make her happy? Common courtesy, man. Niggas don't teach it to others. Men are not even teaching to their motherfucking sons today. And that's the motherfucking problem.
That part there. So that's why when I hear these men keep talking, I'm just like, who the fuck were you raised by? What man raised you to believe the shit that you believe?
A bandit.
I'd be really when I'm like, what man raised you to believe what you believe?
A bandit. A top tier bandit. raised them to believe that shit, and they believe that shit too. They genuinely believe that shit. All right, let me come back on camera, man. They genuinely believe that shit after a while too. That they doing the right thing and what's good, Sim Nation.
And I think it's funny because I think one of the main people that they use as a role model was Kevin Samuels. And I'm like, wasn't he raised without a daddy?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute. So he was raised by a baby mama, but y'all out here shaming people being raised by a baby mama. But he's y'all fucking Moses.
And their own kids is being raised by one too. So
right.
Fucking derelicts. No, what's crazy is I didn't even know Kevin Samuels raised by a single mom.
Yeah. Till she remarried.
Mm-hmm.
So
but that's one of the things that changed everything. Everybody, but as soon as he went viral, the nastiness hit real bad. It hit real bad.
Yeah.
It was on here with incognito. You know, it was a couple people saying a little something that you like, yeah, don't nobody gonna fuck y'all no way. Whatever. But then he started with that, and then he had the little suits and all of that. Everybody started following him because they was thinking that he was, you know, it was something that it was amazing. And then we saw the videos after he passed, and it was like, yeah, he wasn't living nothing like that. Y'all paid him to live like that. Y'all paid him to look like that. Everything was fake and phony. And it's like, all of them, they was getting tattoos. They got tattoos of this man. Come on.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Over there crying.
Everything.
That's crazy.
When I saw niggas getting tattooed, the streets is done.
I was like, what the fuck? But you're right, Miss Keeper. He put the shit on steroids, and it was somebody that. But I was like, he was like I said. I tell people all the time. It's like he was wrong about a lot of shit he said.
You know what Kevin did, Rico? Is Kevin disrespected women in a quote unquote tasteful way. Like when Tommy was doing all that shit,
right?
Tommy was being reprimanded, right? Like they was. I'm gonna keep it real. I only saw unattractive or mediocre women supporting Tommy. I have never, ever seen Tommy get support from baddies, from women who are desired by any fucking body, right? Usually, the women that I see, and not the women clout chasing him or using his name so they can get views on their channel. I'm talking about the genuine supporters. Yeah, they're usually unattractive motherfuckers. But Kevin was different. Kevin had support from a lot of motherfuckers. I mean, not to mention he was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. So initially he had a lot of support, man. I'm talking about from the Divine Nine and outside of the fucking Divine Nine. He had a lot of support, and he dressed a certain type of way that made people say, "Oh, look, well, he looked like a businessman." All right, Rico, because in the black community, as long as you wear a suit, you look like a businessman. You don't have to actually be one.
Have any business.
You don't have to actually do shit. So Kevin, if you remember, I remember Kevin on Lapeef when he first came on there. Man, that nigga was fucked up, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was wearing t-shirts and shit. He was like a regular guy. In his 40s and 50s, almost 50s and shit. But when he started that YouTube shit and that YouTube money started flowing in, he started having 10,000 motherfuckers on Patreon and 8,000 members on YouTube. That's when, his whole attitude changed. And my humble opinion, he became a whole different person.
Yeah, I just speak to the fact that a lot of the information that the problem is, like Ms. Keeper said, the vitriol and the nastiness exploded behind him because he basically gave them cover to say, you're perfectly okay to feel that way and to say these things that these women don't deserve that. The information he was giving out.
Victor, what you on, Victor? We talking about Tommy not a cute looking guy. The fuck that got to do with anything?
My problem is the information.
That's just out of nowhere saying that.
Yeah,
Vic, nobody talking about these niggas looks at you, Vic.
My problem was just lost 2 points right there.
God damn.
The thing for me with Kevin was when he sat there and tried to dismiss and demean the fact of, as we were talking about earlier today, domestic violence. Domestic violence was a very big thing in the fucking past. It was a huge thing.
Yeah,
It
of
was,
course it was.
it was even worse than it is today because there were no consequences to a man beating the fucking brakes off his wife. And it wasn't just black men that were doing it, it was white men. But black men were mimicking the behaviors that white men were doing.
Correct.
So if he came home drunk and beat the shit out of his wife, he knew he could do so with no consequences. So when Kevin dismissed that and made it seem like, oh, I never seen The Color Purple, I'm like, you telling a fucking lie. That did.
Yeah, because Kevin definitely saw The Color Purple because I saw that motherfucker. I'm saying leaving comments and shit.
And it was happening in Oklahoma where that nigga's from. Him pushing the narrative that things like
he was definitely Kevin definitely saw that shit because Kevin spoke, and not just Kevin, but other men that was rocking with him. They all spoke against the fucking dangers of the media, and they used The Color Purple to say that the media had painted black men in a fucked up picture.
Right.
You feel me? And shout out to Art Snow, man. Y'all know how it is, Michigan.
But the reality was that piece, which was about a period of time in the 1900s, was factually true. That was what was occurring in American society.
Yeah, it was completely factually true.
Why would you dismiss what is true? That was pre-depression. I'm like, men were beating their wives, and they older men, we know they were sleeping with younger women at that time. It is true. You can't do that shit today, but back then, the domestic violence was high. Older men sleeping with younger girls was high. That's just true. So I'm like, don't dismiss it and say, oh, that just never happened. That's bullshit.
I agree, Rico. But that's what they do in these spaces is they don't want to have genuine conversations. It's easier for them to just be on fugazi bullshit.
Right, and I don't think that makes black men bad to tell the truth that, hey, back then, niggas was doing it. White men were doing it more than black men. They were beating white women and black women and lynching our asses because they could do so with impunity. So and you know what? As you said, that's what these niggas are advocating for. We need to go back to that. So
exactly
I can smack a broad upside her head and get away with it. And I'm like, no, we're not going back to that shit. We are not going back to that shit. Kevin telling you it didn't happen is telling you a goddamn lie. And there are many men like myself who don't want us to go back to be able to have the ability to physically harm someone with no repercussions. I want anybody, if you put your hand on somebody, your ass go to jail if it's unlawful. I don't want to live in that world. Period.
I couldn't agree more. Welcome back, Lady Happy. Taking a quick smoke break, man. Could just smoke and play a video and stuff, but we gotta get some fresh air. We talk about certain shit. Just feel good too. Get outside, get some good fresh air.
It do look dark and gray there, though, Darrell. Damn.
You say it look dark and gray here?
It looks white.
It does.
I like the snow.
I don't know.
I'm just under this thing because I ain't want to have all this snow, but no, it's like.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. I don't want that shit. You can keep it. Fuck
man,
that.
I love this. Man, I love this. And I'm not just talking about the snow. I'm talking about you guys booting me off. Keep booting me off. For real. I love that. I love it. Boot me off again. What can I say that piss you off again? Let me know. Let me know.
But that's the only thing I say is like, you know, they follow the ideology and Kevin would say enough true stuff and then tell a fucking lie. And now all of a sudden they take the 70% true and the 30% lie. But I'm like, if the story is only 70% correct, it's all a fucking lie. Go ahead, Miss Keeper.
I didn't.
Miss Keeper wasn't saying nothing.
Oh, okay. But no, that's just the only point. And that's you know, I didn't want to see the man gone, but now that he's gone, the problem is his rhetoric is still here, and it's still doing damage to young men. And that's why I was disappointed in him, because I'm like, You in my generation, Kevin. I'm a little bit older than them, but we can't be poisoning the people that come behind us with that bullshit. Tell the truth or say nothing. And that's what I just didn't like. I'm like, he shouldn't be saying this and when I'm hearing these other guys and they're mimicking it and they're leaving all context out. Oh yeah, Kevin said back then that shit was not true. We had large communities of single mother neighborhoods.
What do you think about what Cynthia was saying with Themis just now?
Huh?
I don't see how people let Kevin Samuels do that. I don't see. There was nothing about him. I mean, I watched him because he was funny, and yeah, I was one of the people like, oh, please don't tell that lady she ugly. I was just sitting there like, oh, please don't tell that lady. Everybody that was actually watching it the first time was like, please don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know he was finna do it. She was making him say it. But
I think one of the biggest things that we do bad in this space is we continue to even talk about them niggas, right? Like one of the things I like about Cynthia is Cynthia make a lot of points that we don't recover because I really don't know why black men specifically don't cover it. But you know what I'm saying? Kevin, that nigga's dead. That nigga's a bum. Right? When he was alive, a lot of the black men, they was, you know, one thing I like, part of the reason why I stopped doing videos about them and I start highlighting the women more because everybody know what these niggas is on. These niggas is doing nothing else but spreading propaganda against black people. And I can't even say black man is buying into it or he just controlling niggas. Niggas don't like women, dog. And they gonna fuck with whoever is shaming women. Rico, it's a hustle now. It's not even genuine conversation.
Yeah,
it's a hustle now. True. That's all it is.
But you know what's so funny? Because you just said something that made me think, Darrell. It's crazy because I'm like, they've even gotten to the point now where it's not enough for them to shit on black women. I'm like, I'm listening to black content creators shit on the black community as a whole. So I'm like, why are you men? So I understand you ran over here twerking because he was talking about black women. Now he's shitting on you too. Why are you still over here twerking?
That was my thing about the Tommy shit. I see why George Zimmerman is doing this and doing that. I'm saying, damn. When y'all go check bro about that shit he said.
Because he talking about you niggas too. Why are you still twerking for somebody that, oh man, you can't say nothing. Nigga, you can't, you know, and this is where they get us. They say, well, we should be able to critique our own community. And I'm like, and I get that. But this is not critiquing. When you critique something, you look for what's wrong, you try to talk about it, and then you try to come up with viable solutions. There is a clear difference between critiquing and discussing the ills in our community, and I think we should be able to do it without just adding on to it. If, you know, you're not critiquing if all you're doing is talking about Sexy Red and Sexy Red every fucking day. You're not critiquing us. I know I see what the difference is. I'm open to discussing her, but come on, guys. These niggas is just making money. That's it.
That's all this shit's ever has been about, Rico. It's all about money. But like I said, me and you, we've been in this space long enough to know that. It's all about money. It's all about clout. And right now, women just got the clout. Right now, the more you talk shit about women and the more you talk shit about black culture in a negative way, you're going to get support because that's the overall consensus about black people anyways, that we ain't shit. Our culture ain't shit. Our people ain't shit. Black men ain't shit. Kids are stupid. That's how they feel about us overall. You know what I'm saying? But people don't want to really talk about that because, you know, they just like being ignorant. Not like having these dumbass conversations that just don't lead nowhere, bro. I've been doing this shit for years. That's why I only react to a lot of the stuff that the women say. Because the women like Cynthia, the one with all the fucking facts. She the one coming with knowledge. Kevin wouldn't bring up no stats. And when you challenge him on the stats, hey bro, where did you get that stat from? Can you pull it up for me? And can I pull up any counter stats? They don't even want to have that conversation.
You're over talking me, Darrell. You're over talking me. That's all the fuck he would say.
Yeah, you're over talking me, right? He gonna hit you with that bullshit. He gonna hit you with the you know, women are being combative. Either they just had to push back on something. You will never ever see Kevin in any conversations with any intellectuals.
Nope.
The whole time he was on YouTube, you would never see him having an intellectual conversation where he allowed pushback.
Nope.
Ever. Right? And that's a strategy that they learned on YouTube to not allow people to really, expose them in their fucking talking points. Right? I remember one time Anton did it on Pocket Watching with JT a few years ago.
Yeah.
He went on there, and a young man named First Corporate Citizen or some shit, he tore Anton to pieces. He was asking Anton tax questions that Anton didn't know, asking him business questions that he didn't know. Anton used to say that he was an engineer. He knew about coding. He was a tech guy. He was asking him tech questions he didn't know.
Yeah.
And see,
but Anton, like you said, Anton is the ultimate mentee of Kevin, where he used that tactic of.
But I'm not even talking about just those guys in specific. I'm talking about just their character, just to lie, and the audience, they believe it, right? And then for the new people that's coming in, they didn't hear when Anton was saying that he was working at the University of Michigan and he was a fucking engineer, professor, and all the rest of this bullshit. And he was a corporate dude and working at the bank and all. Same thing with Kevin. Kevin said on fucking Fresh and Fit that he was a chemical engineer. And anybody could have pulled his car and just said, all right, cool. If you're a chemical engineer, there should be something that you can prove, something on your LinkedIn account, something in your resume that we can go back and say, what company did you work for?
Well,
right? Who hired you?
The mere fact that you would tell me you went 4 years of school, graduated, was working as a chemical engineer, and you decided to give that up to go be a waiter at Pappadeaux's? I'm like, huh?
It's all cat.
So why the fuck am I even listening to you? If that's what you would do, because chemical engineers are very well paid.
Correct.
So why would you give up that job and income after all those years of training to become a fucking waiter?
My thing is, how you a chemical engineer and you on paper for only making $800 a month?
Right. With a child.
With a child. How you?
Let's go back to the child support. With a child.
And a wife.
Right?
There's no way that, you know what I'm saying? But my whole point of saying all of that is not even just to talk about them two men specifically. It's just to say that when it comes to the conversation, when it comes to the conversations about those dudes and just about keeping it 100, men, we don't put ourselves in a situation where we can just actually show our education, show our qualifications. They want to be able to speak on anything and everything just because they are men. And that's the problem I had on Hant Channel. He was saying, well, anybody can speak on anything. That's not exactly true, Hant. I mean, yeah, I can speak on doing brain surgeries. Yeah, sure. But who would you rather listen to, me or a fucking doctor who was a brain surgeon? Who would you rather listen to? And some of the men, they don't take that into consideration, that experience matters. That's why I had issues with some of the men in the manosphere to begin with. Hold on.
All right, my bad. But that's the reason why I had those issues with some of those men to begin with, was because we just can't have a genuine conversation ever. It's always got to be some kind of fucking agenda. It always got to be a I got you moment versus the men or the women, some fucking body. And truthfully, it's low key annoying. It's super annoying when we can't even have a serious conversation. Thank you so much, Lady L. Let's keep going. I'm about to order me some breakfast. Ciao.
Wasn't developed to exclude women, but it was developed without thinking of women. So for women to be able to come in to the system in the way that they did after Title IX and that kind of engagement and blow men out of the water not just black women and black men, which is the largest gap, but women generally. There's a bunch of people running around. We're going to watch a video now on this. Running around talking about, oh, we need to help men. Oh, we need to start men at a later time in school. Men need to be helped and given scholarship. Oh yes, this is a whole different conversation happening now online.
Guys, that's like
So the conversation has shifted a lot.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if when men realized that they were, and I think this super chat kind of alludes to that from Miss Truth Teller, where she said, yes, it's because of religion and also because we are physically weaker. So that got me to thinking, if I wonder if when men did realize that they were physically stronger and could physically subdue women, if that is when they looked at them as inferior beings. Because of course, if you can subdue somebody, of course, you're going to feel like they're inferior to you. Essentially the same mentality that men of no color developed after not just conquering black men, but studying them, because they didn't just rush in and do anything. They took time to study them. We know because there's old documents where they said they were observing the ways of African men. But I think much like how they decided that African men were inherently inferior to them because they saw them as not physically weaker, but mentally weaker. They weren't unified. They had dissension among each other. It was easy for them to sell out their people. And much like that, when they saw that they could physically subdue women, and to a degree, women have to also be weaker minded to fall into, to be able to be brainwashed to believe that what you give birth to, what cannot exist without you, is somehow superior to you. So women, we had to have some weaker faculties about ourselves to even believe that.
I don't believe that. Sin, that's I hardly ever disagree with Sin, but on this one I gotta disagree. I don't think that women had a weaker faculty. But I think what happened was men exploited their strength, right? Women are fragile sometimes. Women are fragile, peaceful people. They don't wake up wanting to go to war, wake up wanting to beat people up, wake up wanting to dominate people. That's the things that men do. A lot of the times, women are forced into submission. A lot of the times, women are forced to do certain things. That's just the facts. It don't mean that they were mentally incapable of understanding that the men were wrong. It just means they were forced to do it. And sometimes they lost their lives if they didn't go along with what the men said. Let's keep going, guys. I'm enjoying this video. Shout out to Uncle Rico, Happy, Miss Keeper, and Miss Not For Everybody for joining me this morning. We got 50 people watching between both channels, or all the channels all together. I love you all. Wow. Let's keep going.
So the physical makeup of men and the ability to physically dominate, I think, is an explanation. Anthropologists would agree with this. Some anthropologists, let me be clear, more specific, would agree that this would be part of why men felt like they were leaders and thus could dominate. The issue here is whether or not the thinking faculty or the physical ability to overpower should reign supreme in terms of leadership. And obviously, I'm on the side of thinking, right? Like,
I am too.
Yeah, that you're physically bigger than someone does not a leader make, right? That you can think and strategize and control in a way that is useful is more along the lines of leadership. And so the problem here is that men have also adopted the idea that they are logical and women are not. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure how this myth persists with all the evidence around women's ability to learn, reason, and excel in a thinking-based economy where men were able to excel in a physical labor-based economy. The economy shifted to knowledge-based, and women are now excelling where men would excel when it was about physical labor. And I do actually think it's interesting that these kinds of myths persist even when there is so much evidence to the contrary.
Well, here's the thing of why I say.
First of all, does anybody here want to respond to what Themis just said?
I agree with it.
I agree with him also.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I wish I didn't as much, but I agree with it. It just, and yeah, I agree with it. I have nothing to add.
Hey, Themis is cooking. I was told that Themis is an attorney, but I'm not really sure, and I don't really care. I do know he is very well read.
Yeah, at least I heard him say he was an attorney several times, and from how smart he is, I definitely fucking believe it.
Yeah, he's highly intelligent.
He is. Yeah.
Highly articulate. That's why they be like, oh well, look at how he look and how he sound. That don't matter.
Yeah, they just go to the sexuality because they can't defeat him anywhere else, and they're not even defeating him on the sexuality. But you know, lazy ass thinking and lazy ass. I'm like, he don't want none of you motherfuckers anyway. So what? He ain't shaming you for being heterosexual. You can't shame him for whatever his orientation is. I don't know. But whatever it is, so what?
I'm gonna do a video about that. Remember that white girl that was smashing her coworkers at the police station? They all worked together.
Yeah, the cop.
She just won the case, and she won the so she ain't getting no time. She keep her job, and she won $500,000 on the lawsuit.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Wow.
White is always winning. Well, that white be whiting, don't it? Look, I bet you if she was black, look, I got money to say if she was black, the outcome might not have been quite as good.
It would have been that, but on the negative, she would have been on them 500,000. She would have lost her job.
Yep.
And she would have went to jail.
That white be whiting like a motherfucker. And they want to say that. I'm like, man, y'all better miss me with that.
And they want to say they ain't got no white privilege. Man, shut up.
Miss me with that.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And
she fucked everybody.
I gotta
right?
go ahead and show y'all this real quick, because at first I wasn't gonna show the video, but pause, guys. Her name is
everybody some tired, like for real.
Her name is Megan Hall from the city of Laverne, Tennessee, and she just won $500,000. Child.
Eddie, you may remember the eyebrow-raising sex scandal that rocked the Laverne Police Department. We first told you about the mess in January of last year. The shocking details sounded like a bad movie script, made national news, as 5 officers and then the police chief all fired. The city then found itself facing a lawsuit filed by a former female officer. Well, tonight word comes the city has settled the case.
Hold on, so they lost their jobs and she made $500,000?
I knew they got fired.
Let's say this. I think the 6 officers were all black.
Yes, they were.
Yes,
they should have.
That's what's even crazy.
Yeah, everybody
They showed their faces in the damn lineup. I was like, damn.
White be white.
Child. The complexion for the protection, my brother. Let's keep going.
With a hefty payment.
It wasn't
Nikki Hauser heard directly from city leaders.
After that scandal, former police officer Megan Hall sued the city. Then tonight, over a year later, the city of Laverne held a special meeting in which they decided they would pay out Megan Hall $500,000, officially ending that lawsuit.
Motion to approve as it is reading here.
It took less than 5 minutes.
No.
Alderman Hobbs?
Aye.
Alderman Hobbs?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dunn?
Aye.
Motion passes.
For the Laverne city leaders to say yes, they'll pay former police officer Megan Hall $500,000.
What message is that sending to all the other employees?
Alderman Dennis Waldron was the only dissenting vote.
He's sending a message out to everybody in the world, said, come to Laverne, sue Laverne because they're going to settle.
The city.
They all white, right?
That is correct.
All the white people gave that white woman $500,000 and fired all them niggas.
That's all the men right here.
Yeah.
Right here. Look at y'all.
One might be a biracial. The other 4 are clearly black. And they were fucking on the job.
All lost their jobs. One of them was the police chief. God damn. Let's hear her victimhood right quick too.
Hall and her lawyer claim it was a hostile work environment that groomed her.
While I was aspiring to protect my community, the Laverne Police Department was not protecting me.
She, along with 4 other officers and the police chief, were fired. Hall talked to News Channel 5 about the affair early last year.
I know what most people are saying. You know, you could have said no. I get it. But my response to them is that I did say no, and he wouldn't take it for an answer.
Bullshit.
Wait, so let me get this straight. She fuck a whole bunch of people and get paid for it. Ain't that prostitution? I thought that's what that was called.
This is wild.
I'm gonna go ahead and give her what she deserves on this one. City girls win again.
Period.
Period.
Can we imagine what this space would be saying if she had been black?
Child, if she was black, they'd be on her fucking. Yeah, she was married and she still is married.
Yeah, she was married, and look, that would have been a black woman. It would have been a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Trigger Mike when you need him? Where's the white women don't do this?
That husband sticking around for that money. I don't blame him.
That's that basic Becky power, because she's a basic Becky.
This is the faces of the men that was all getting down with Shorty. She said yes
Why
to
dude at the
every.
bottom look very puzzled?
And I think they was married too.
He looking like
Exactly, like he's surprised they taking his picture. Like they didn't set up the whole background. He didn't know at the last minute. Like, wait a minute, what?
what is wrong with you, cuz?
And they probably running through Tennessee, fucking black people up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt. Especially the K9 got it. The dude with
Yeah.
K9.
And then he had the nerve to have that canine vest on, which means he with the dog. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And look at how the city of Laverne, Tennessee treated your black ass and how they treated that white woman.
Now,
and
boy.
I got money, Darrell. Half of them in the manosphere. Them niggas.
Probably.
Tennessee loses again. Typical Southern bandits. I wanted to announce that real quick because that came across my little news circuit. Megan Hall won her case. $500,000. Let me go put in some more lottery tickets today because I want to be balling just like Megan Hall now.
Yeah, because she living good in Tennessee on that kind of bread.
And she still got her job.
Oh,
she was fired from her original job, but she got hired at a different police department. I still understand how they lost their job, but she did.
I don't feel sorry for them though.
Me neither.
I don't feel sorry for him, but it's just the logic is still off of me. Like,
yeah, the logic is off. But the fuck if I'm show up at a rally for them niggas?
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
Between them and what was the name of the dudes, the other 5 Tennessee dudes that deleted that other black boy that I'm talking about? Over that girl?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Tennessee is crazy.
Down that one.
It was about a black girl too. Yeah. They sentenced all of them. One of them was a member of Omega Psi Phi. He got dismembered. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me go back to Cynthia. What's the name of the boy that they deleted?
I just remember the 5 cops. I can't go back.
Tyree Nichols.
Yeah, that's his name.
5 police officers charged in the murder of Tyree Nichols. And so yeah, I remember this. And it's crazy what happens down there in Tennessee altogether. It's a dangerous state, low key. Very dangerous state. They beat that boy to death. I remember the video like it was yesterday. Right on the corner in Memphis. Let's get back to the video.
And the thing is, I'm a woman too, and I've sat and I've pondered about this. Women, even still today in 2024, believe they came from the rib of a man. So to me, there have to be something wrong with your mental faculties if, despite the reality of women themselves, especially women who have children, you know damn well it's you in the maternity ward birthing children. So there's no reason for any woman in 2024 to still believe that, number one, the first human was a man. Number two, the man had the seed. Number three, that the man's sperm creates life when it does not. And number four, that a woman was created from the rib of a man. So this is why I say I question, even though I think women are extremely smart, obviously women can do a ton and in very little time, clearly, because we've only had liberation for a very small amount of time and have done great and wonderful things. But the mindset is a problem. That's what I'm saying. The mindset is a problem. To worship that which you create, to believe that your creation, first of all, to get your creation, to allow your creation to convince you that they're your creator is a problem. There's something wrong with the mental.
Dog, she up here spitting. Somebody give me some feedback. Cause she up here spitting a lot of hot fire right now. The fact that women feel like they still come from the rib of a man based on a book that was written by men is crazy. Well, there's no scientific data that points to that. The fact that they still believe that life comes from the male sperm, when there is scientific data that pushes against that, but they don't want to believe it because God, man, woman, the Holy Trinity, right? Then you ask a lot of these bandits, where did Christianity originate from? Shit, God created the earth. That's when. Name the books in the Bible. Name the first one and the last one. I don't know. Jesus Christ. What is your favorite book in the book of Moses? Oh shit, my Genesis, Psalms, Palms. These niggas don't care about religion. When I used to study the Bible, I was interested about the Bible, no matter if you're reading Galatians or you're reading Genesis or you're reading Revelations, right? No matter what you're reading, it's just fables. It's fables and stories meant to teach you how to behave, how to make society behave. Whether you choose to indoctrinate yourself in it is whatever. All right, but the people that's born here in America that consider themselves Christians, if they was born in fucking Pakistan, they wouldn't be Christians based on their demographics, based on the society around them that's been conquered by Islamic cultures. So I just feel like, religion itself, the way that men use it is disgusting. But let's keep going.
You said it's very recent, but I think it's important to note sort of how recent it was. Like Title IX was like 1972. Prior to that, people were just discriminating. You could not go to school. Like as a woman, you could not engage in meaningful economic development. Like when you say it's recent, I do actually think it is important for people to understand how recent is. This is like 1970s. Like
Right, but regardless to how recent women's liberation is, women have always known that they are giving birth to males. They've always known that. Subjugated or not, they've always known that. So to buy into that is odd to me. To buy into the fact that your creation is superior to you is odd. To even buy into a religious doctrine that says, number one, that your creator was a male, and then put you beneath your male creations, but also gave you control of whether they exist or not. That to me, it gives something that's not firing in your brain.
Here's a pushback.
Okay, I like that theme is giving healthy pushback too, and not just allowing Cynthia to say anything. Right? It makes it, even though that they're friends, they can still hold each other accountable, which is what we need in these conversations. All right.
Yeah, he was a back and forth pretty well. Yeah, but if you ever want to review another one of his lives, he did another one. I think recently it was a men's panel. I'm not gonna lie, you may laugh a lot.
I like Demons. The ladies were telling me to go on his channel for Men's Day, so I was actually thinking about going up there and kicking it with him. But we'll see, all in due time. The thought white women didn't act like this. I thought white women didn't act like this. No, gently, they definitely do. Shout out to Megan Hall. Only Megan Hall can bust it open, fuck the police chief and everybody else, and walk away with her job and $500,000. Oh my god. Let's get it.
It's not just a woman who gets pregnant. Two people get pregnant.
What? Stop playing with us.
Did you just say two people got the no? Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that Bandit said. I forgot that Bandit said the man and the woman. You're right, exactly. The man and the woman got pregnant. So the man got pregnant too. I forgot that. So I am looking at me being incorrect.
I know what she's talking about.
So,
What band is she talking about?
She talking about that Killer Mike interview. That's what he said when he was talking about his daughter. He was like, "Yeah, because they both got pregnant." That's literally what he said.
Killer Mike said, "Oh, you talking about in that
interview.
RFK video?"
Mm-hmm.
Child, I couldn't even get to the fucking end of that one because RFK, his voice was just squeaking.
Oh yeah, his voice was terrible. I couldn't do it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with your voice? You got glass, a pipe, a crack pipe stuck in it. Like, what's going on?
You're not gonna be voting to president just because of that voice.
Yeah.
Literally. Nobody I can't even talk to you. God damn it.
He sounded like a bad car trying to get up a hill.
That shit sounded awful. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to finish it too because Jenny sent it to me and I know it was good, but that shit was, his voice was trash.
I stand corrected. The man and the woman got pregnant that day. But I mean, sometimes what women allow men to convince them of makes me wonder about women's psychological faculties, because even now, men convincing women that it's in their nature to cheat. They don't have a choice but to cheat. Apparently, men don't have a choice but to cheat. Women have allowed men to convince them that. They've also allowed men to convince them that it's humans are not, or human females are meant to be monogamous, but human males are not. So it's just some of the stuff that women allow men to convince them. I just be thinking this, how?
Saying a lot of the times these women don't be convinced. A lot of times they be lying. Right? It's like Luna when she was on This Might Be Risky. She was, she was all team Mammy and team the black man is God until they exposed the fact that she had an OnlyFans. And once they exposed her OnlyFans, she showed her true colors. Right? She showed her true colors. The men were flabbergasted because just 2 days before that, she was saying that any woman that behaves ungodlike is undeserving of marriage. And here she goes, right? Doing stuff that's undeserving of marriage. No, they don't believe it, mama. They just say it to get money from other men, right? That's the hustle. They say whatever they got to say on these panels to get the money from these bandits, and they make the money from these bandits, and they keep going. It's a hustle. That's all it is.
Because the way my brain is set up is that you're not going to convince me of any of that. You're just there's no way, because at the end of the day, if I go into a maternity ward, I already know I've seen women giving birth. So you're not about to convince me that a male is a creator. You're not.
But
nothing in nature.
No. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it again, because I was going to say, but you don't understand that women give birth, but it's the man who gives life. But it's terrible, Joe.
Yeah, well, then men need to explain that if a man's, because automatically what comes to my man is, if the male sperm gives life, then why is there some women who are barren? Because if your sperm gives life, it doesn't, and her womb is dead, then every womb that essentially gets skeeted in, a pregnancy should happen, right? There should be no female infertility if male sperm gives life. It should not exist. Like why are people going and paying thousands of dollars for in vitro fertilization if male sperm gives life? Like it doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. But exactly, somebody said not a dead womb.
No, life exists within the woman's seed. Without that, we would have nothing. We would have nothing to actually cultivate the seed that we give her. It's just that sensible. Sorry, it's just that simple. And I don't understand why you bandits are not sensible. Why you just can't concede to that fucking point. Jesus Christ. It's like you complain about the Bible and you talk about the roles that men and women have. God literally made women to bring life into the world. Life is created through them. End of story. Let's keep going, guys.
At least Black women have allowed Black men to convince them that they have a dead womb and that it doesn't come alive until his sperm touches it. Like, now, to me, that makes absolutely no sense. You're a lunatic if you tell me that.
It doesn't make sense unless you're looking from it from the perspective of these men. Because, like, what they're saying is, because I give life through that, then you should take it easy on me. You don't carry a child for a parasite. A child doesn't develop in your womb for 9 months, draining you and you having to protect it. So I'm not sure whether you need to ease up on him. Like, the part that you did was fun for you generally, right? Like, the idea that we should take it easy on you because you give life is like wild. And the fact that you think you give life is also wild when you're not going to prison for abortion. Like,
but it's the fact that there is
child. These are the authentic conversations I wish that we had in this manosphere. I really wish that these were the conversations that we had in spaces like on Hamp Channel, etc., etc. But for some reason we don't. Let me go ahead and drop the link, guys. Let me drop the link. Everybody up here is asleep on this early Friday morning. Let's keep going though.
No scientific data or any science that says that sperm is a life-giving agent. It's literally not. Like, it's just not. And this is why we only hear this coming from Black men. Like, Akon was the only one dumb enough to sit up and say, the man gives life, he can nut in an incubator and create a baby. Like, nobody would say that. Nobody would say that. So some of these things we're only hearing from Black men specifically, that just sounds retarded. But they've been able to convince Black women of these things. I don't get it. And then on a larger note, men have been able to convince women that not only were they the first human on the planet, but that they created women. And it's just
that's crazy.
Like, it's literally giving me a headache now. To even discuss it is giving me a headache because it sounds so.
Don't forget now, if you want a chicken, you need a rooster and a hen. That's a fact. That's a fact. I would love to come up, but I move around too much during the daytime. Yeah, I'm about to go to lunch soon. I'm about to actually go get some breakfast. I might stay on camera while I'm in that bitch too. I don't even give a fuck. Let's get it though.
Stupid to me. I don't get
If I do it though, watch how smooth I am. I'm gonna run a reaction from the motherfucking iPad, and I'm gonna go get breakfast. It's gonna be crazy.
it. And so to me, I wonder if there is some validity to what men have said about the way women think. And it's I've just been thinking about it. I've just been thinking about it based off what men have been able to convince women that is a reality that is not a reality. Because you can look throughout nature, males don't create anything. Nowhere in nature can you. So you could try to pose that, okay, humans are the exception, but humans aren't the exception. So why is it that women believe these things? So there has to be some validity to that, because I do believe most of the subjugation of women and men is not physical. It's not physical. It's mental. It's mind screwing. It's psychological. But you have to have a certain mindset to be able to be brainwashed. You have to.
There is one species that I can think of off the top of my head where the male gives birth. It's
Are we going to say seahorses?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were going to say seahorses. Okay, so now we're going all the way to the ocean. Okay, that's fine. we can go to the ocean. That's cool. The exception proves the rule, though.
People were mad. I do actually need to say this. I think someone is mad. The R word, I didn't know it was derogatory, so I apologize for that.
I don't know what R word you're talking about.
Retarded.
Oh yeah, no, that's insensitive at best.
Yeah.
Insensitive at best. It's not okay to use that word. Everybody know that. Come on, Themis, you know that. You never ever use that word ever.
Anymore.
No, you shouldn't.
You know, but I'm saying anymore.
Because a lot of people used to say it a lot back then.
Yeah, in the past, we used to.
That's the first thing they pull out. Are you? Yeah, the R word. Yeah.
Damn.
So I'm just so before they say they didn't used to say it in the past. Yes, the fuck they did.
Yes, they did a lot.
They used that as freely as they used the N word.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going, guys.
Didn't know that. Are we going to speak on men? Then we should speak on boys. The grow into. Are we?
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. Gary Pittman, with his $5, said, "Are we going to speak on men that we should speak on boys? The grow into manhood." Goes to show you how dumb these niggas is. They can't even write on a $5. I can't even write one sentence on a $5 super chat.
That doesn't make any sense. Like,
Gary, I'm sorry. I don't. Are we going to speak on men? Then we should speak on boys. They grow into.
Because even if he meant boys that grow into manhood, it still doesn't make sense. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gary. I don't fully understand this.
Because it wasn't a fully articulated sentence. It was fucking stupid. That's why you don't understand it.
He was in his feelings and typed so fast that we don't understand what the fuck he talking about.
He don't understand the fuck he talking about. You should have just reiterated that shit on a $2 super chat or something.
You always supposed to reread your stuff before you send it. Now, sometimes it is an accident, but that you should have made sure, because that made no lick of sense.
Not a lick of fucking sense. Jesus Christ.
Let's read the super chat and then we'll get into this video because it's right up the line that we're talking on the line of what we're talking about.
With yourself, because one thing that I've noticed is that when I'm not in a relationship, I feel the most emotional balance. I have more money. I'm happier. I'm more centered. I don't have the stress. I'm not constantly thinking about what another person is doing. So I realize that I am at my best when I am single. Does that mean that I don't want to be in a relationship? No, but I do realize I'm the happiest when I'm single. So therefore, I'm not focused on what man I need to be attached to. When I want to attach myself to a man, I'll attach myself to him very easily. But is that at the top of my priority list? No. I'm about to turn 40 this year. Do I feel any bit ashamed that I'm not married? Absolutely not. There's nothing in me that feels like I even need to rush to get married, because I'm not here to live by the standards or the confinement of what society says women need to do. And that is what I'm trying to help liberate Black women from, because they'll be happier if they do that. You'll be happier. You'll be less stressed out. You know, I even was able to lose weight based off not being in a relationship.
I think, Cynthia, that's if you're in an unhappy, unbalanced relationship. If you are in those kind of relationships, then yeah, once you remove that kind of toxic fucking energy from your life, you might be happier. You might find yourself in a different situation, losing weight, eating better, having more money to spend. Of course, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that
If
comes
you're in
from,
a toxic relationship.
yeah, and that comes from being in a stressful relationship. Stress,
Mhm.
whether you're in a relationship or not, can cause ills, bad health, weight gain. So you could be single if you have a very stressful life. It's not good for you. So that's what I would piggyback on with that. Yes, you can be in a relationship that creates a bunch of stress. That's not what it's supposed to do, but we know it happens. You know, because as they talked about, like, you know, with the COVID and everything else, people get in relationships sometimes for convenience, and that's not the best reason to get in a relationship. So, yeah, I see what
That's
she's
never a
saying
good
is true,
reason.
but I just think it's overall stress and toxicity as you described.
Yeah, I think for her, what she's saying is that when she's in a relationship, it's a lot more stress and work, and then when she's not, it's a lot easier.
I still can't believe this girl got off and made all that money after
Oh, I
fucking.
knew that was gonna happen. I just really didn't think they'd actually do it. I was like, I bet she's gonna get off and get some money too. But
You still
damn, I didn't think she was gonna get all that.
you still talking about that white woman?
I still can't believe that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that white bandit got away with it again. Damn.
It is crazy. That white be whiting. And I remember, and that's why I always, you know, I always reject the notion when people get into spaces wanting to talk this colorblind bullshit. I'm like, if y'all don't get away from me with that, because they see color. I just don't believe it's a coincidence that all those white folks sat up there on that dais and awarded that white woman in 1 year $500,000 in 1 year.
Easy money.
Maybe it was 5 years, and they looked at how much litigation costs we done spent fighting it. It's cheaper. I'm like, no, not in 1 year. In 1 year, she got a bag. She got the job. That no way in hell white did not play a sizable influence on that decision, how she came out on top.
Right.
And that was a job that she was probably making $30,000 a year in Laverne, Tennessee. Police officers don't get paid that well.
Oh yeah, she took them to the cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that reporter. She said it took them 5 minutes.
They said she white,
5 minutes.
but if she was black, shit.
It would have took them 5 minutes still, but it would have been a nope.
Nope. No.
And you not getting your job back, ho.
Nope. You can sue. Nope. We're gonna take it. They would not have paid. Damn.
Yeah. You had an angry man, everybody online too. You black bitches.
All them dudes was married too, wasn't they?
Yeah.
I was just about to say that, and they would have been
just
not that
all
one.
these felonies ain't got nothing for it, and this bitch got all just racked up.
Racked the fuck up.
Yeah,
What
she
you
probably bankrupting, probably. Yeah.
Tommy somewhere sitting there celebrating.
The white women does it again.
Damn.
Nigga crispy, man.
And being happy and being by myself and going to therapy and realizing where I made mistakes at and where my standards and expectations may have been lacking and where I needed to develop boundaries. And that's why whenever I bring a new concept to Black women on YouTube, it is because I went through that process myself. It's a revelation that I made about myself. The need to have standards, expectations, and boundaries was based off of where I was lacking in relationships. And so yeah, I'm just here to help and do my part at the end of the day.
Wait.
That's what I'm here for.
Wait, I know we spoke previously and you were working on a book. How far along are you, or should I just put that out of my head for now?
Well, I postponed it because life was lifing. You know, I had 2 deaths in my family. I've had moves. I had relationships, and I had a lot of stuff piled on me.
Cynthia, it's okay to take a break. With everything that you had going on, people hating on you on YouTube, you had to change up your lifestyle, people messing up your streams of income, you know, bandits coming in and out your life, child. Take your time off, and it's okay to take a hiatus. It really is. We work very hard as content creators, and people try to take that away from us, but sometimes it's okay to take a break. Right? Even when I'm doing my streams here, like in a minute, I'm gonna go to Coney Island. I'm gonna give me some food. I'm gonna give me some breakfast. I'm gonna sit down and eat because sometimes it's okay to take a break. You know what I mean? It just is. And Cynthia also has 6,000 members on Patreon, which she caters to. She dropped new content there and on YouTube. Right? She deserves a break. Black women today are working harder than anybody else on the planet, right? Only and say, well, no, Black women are not doing this, and I don't want to hear about what white men are doing in NASA when the Black women are taking care of your kids, feeding your children. I said take care of your kids too, because they low key run the school systems. Black women, a lot of you bandits don't even. When last time when you bandits even been to your fucking kid's school to say hello to a teacher? You know what? Let's keep going, man. The video they're about to do is a really good one. I'm looking forward to it, Jenny. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get it.
At one time, it really it really took a toll on me, and I had to put, like, I know a lot of people on YouTube probably wouldn't be able to tell because I'm able to conceal it very easily. Like, even in my family, they don't take me seriously unless I'm like hysterically crying. They think I'm cold. So I conceal it very easily, but I was going through a lot. There was no motivation to write. My mind was drawing blanks. Like, most of the time I wouldn't even remember what day it was. Like, my memory was affected by it. So, but I am going to get back to it. It's been heavily on my mind to get back to it. And I think that's the universe telling me, okay.
When Cynthia said she gets to the point where she couldn't even remember what day it was, when you couldn't even remember what day it was, Cynthia, that's when you know this relationship is impacting my mental health and it's a problem. Hey, wifey finally done woke up. We 3 hours into the stream. It's almost 1 o'clock and the wifey is up. Okay. The wifey just woke up. Good morning, wifey. I was thinking about going to Coney Island and get me some breakfast. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's keep going. And wifey, join us on the panel. Join us on the panel. We're having a chill day. Everybody is calm, as you see. Nobody over talking to everybody. Right? Who's all actually still here? Let's get a voice check. Happy? I don't think Happy's still here. All right. Miss Keeper?
I'm right here.
Rico?
I'm here.
It's not for everybody.
Present.
All right. Everybody's so happy. Happy, what are you doing? Let's keep going.
It's time to get back to the book.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get back to it, and I'm gonna get it done too.
I'm waiting for it. I look forward to it. Jazzy has been a member for 22 months. Thank you so much. All right. I could like I have quite millions of questions for you, but I will refrain from asking. And I think one thing you were talking about that triggered something that my therapist also said to me. It's that healing and wellness is not a destination;
Mm.
it's a continuous journey. And sometimes you have to step back a lot before you could even move forward, and you will never make it to the end. There's never a time when you're like, okay, I'm perfect. No, it's always a sort of process of self discovery and development. So, I actually like hearing you talk about sort of figuring out your life and like really focusing on yourself and centering yourself in your world. So, I like that. Thank you.
I appreciate the fact that like what Sin is saying is she has went through tremendously traumatic things in recent times, and she continues to exhibit supreme confidence, right? She continues to walk into these conversations like the queen that she is, unmoved by, well, not unmoved because she clearly said she was unmoved, but not exhibiting the traits of somebody who was going through some of the shit that she was going through. Okay, let's keep going before I get up and go to get me some food.
I'm definitely on that. That's why I think it's just so crucial for women to get standards expectation. That it literally saves you. It saves you from a lot of heartache. It saves you from abusive dynamics. It just saves you from a lot of situations that you don't want to be in, exploitation. And I learned to have them by way of being exploited a lot in a number of different ways because my nature is to be kind and to be giving. That's my nature. My love language is to give to people, to do stuff to them. And when people see that you don't really have too many boundaries, you get exploited. And I found that I kept finding myself in situations where I felt like I was being used and exploited. And it made me not want to do for people, which to me is not a good feeling because I enjoy doing for people. And then I realized, okay, you have to put some standards and some expectations and put some boundaries up. It's good to do for people, but if you don't have these protections in place, you are going to get depleted. You are going to get exploited because you're constantly pouring into other people, and it's depleting. It's depleting you because nobody is pouring into you, and that's both. It can be both tangibly and intangibly because I give in both those ways, both intangibly and tangibly. And so it's
Yo, mute some God.
Thank you, Queen. Wifey says that she is a Leo, stubborn as hell. You will not see them struggle. And she says she's exactly the same way. Gently says, let these black men pay the preference tax. Jonathan Majors being sued by his ex-white girlfriend. These white women are not playing with these black bandits. But I thought they was fit, feminine, and friendly. Psych.
it's just there's just a number of different ways that standards, expectations, and boundaries can protect you on every level. You should have them whether you're in a relationship with someone or not. It should be across the board. Whoever you interact with, you need to have standards, expectations, and boundaries. You really do.
Thank you. I love the intellectual conversation. I'm feeling you here and just wanted to say thank you, Thema Fenton. Thank you, E. I appreciate that. All right. So with that palate cleanser of just amazingness, let's move into some mess. So Coleman Hughes claimed he's not conservative, and I don't know why, because like no one cares. And he's someone that I didn't initially like. And I would make videos debunking some of what he said. Now I've grown to sort of appreciate his perspective more, but I still don't agree with him. And so he brought on Richard Reeves from Brookings, who is a researcher. I think he said Richard Reeves, a white guy with 3 boys, who is married, and he wrote the book of Boys and Men. And his thesis essentially is that men need help. and that the world has gone too far. He doesn't explain how the world has gone too far in disenfranchising men. And so we now need to get men back in the game. So that's essentially the intro that I'm going to give. We're going to play it. Please, Finn, tell me when to stop. I'll stop it too, and we'll discuss. All right.
Because I live for your videos where you're debunking people. I live for them.
All right, so this video that they're about to react to is about OnlyFans men and women. Just to make that clear, OnlyFans men and women. Let's go ahead and break it down and see what's going on here, man.
Oh,
I prefer for doing it as a video than live, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
oh, can you pause it for a second?
Well, I met you a few months ago at a conference.
Yes.
I thought the same thing too when it said OF. I said, "Oh, y'all talking about OnlyFans?" That's actually the name of the title of Richard Reese's book. It's called "Of Men and Boys." I mean, of Boys and Men. So that's the title of his. Yeah.
Thank you, Of Men and Boys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for that clarity.
Yeah, it confused me too because he doesn't write it like that on the book. So yeah.
Players fuck up. Let's get it.
Friends, and we had really great conversations about a lot of different topics. And you told me about this upcoming book you were writing, which is now out. And you know, the book is about you'll.
So to be clear, this is not dust. This is elevated dust, so it's smog. So like, it's not the dust.
That's a good word for it. Some smog.
To describe all of it, but it's about the problems facing boys and men in our society. So my first question is, how dare you? I mean, everyone knows that we live in a patriarchy. There is a pay gap to the favor of men. Roe versus Wade was just overturned. We're on the heels of the Me Too and the Time's Up movement. And you have the audacity to write a book about the unique problems facing men. So the question is, you know, why do that? Why now? And what brings you to this topic personally?
I think in some way, the irony is that the very successes of the women's movement have allowed us to take more seriously some of the problems of boys and men. I don't think this is a book that one would have been writing 30, 40 years ago, when essentially the fight for gender equality was virtually synonymous with the fight for women and girls. It was very hard to find metrics where women and girls went very clearly behind boys and men. But the very success of that liberation movement has been such that there are now some inequalities that run the other way. And I'm sure we'll get into some of those in education and so on too. So I think in some ways it's a gift of the success of the women's movement is to look at equality more broadly and to recognize that there are not only many inequalities that still affect girls and women, you just mentioned a couple that we can get into, but that there are also some that disproportionately affect boys and men, and that we should be able to think two thoughts at once, and we should be able to look in both directions. And so I think it's precisely because we've had so much progress that we can now responsibly address gender inequality in both directions.
So in what domains of society, if you can just give a short summary and then we'll go deeper into each one, in what domains of society are men struggling uniquely?
The three areas that I focused on primarily, and I should say perhaps I didn't answer the second half of your question, that I've been interested in issues of inequality and gender for a long time, but the reality is I've raised 3 boys to adulthood, but also my day job, just looking at some of the trends, and particularly for working class and black boys and men, the trends just became unignorable for me.
I'm not really interested in hearing men of any race complain, especially white men, complain about inequalities. I'm sorry. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. As a white man, it's so bad for me out here in America. I'm sorry. No, I can't get along with that. Damn near don't even want to hear that goofy shit.
Yeah, I heard it too when I saw this and I saw the original video and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, you're not going to get an entire country to feel sorry for the same people that still to this day are putting them at a disadvantage and have been since the beginning of time. You're not going to get them to all of a sudden, everybody got amnesia and nobody knows what's going on. White men still run this country mostly than not. So that's not going to work. And the only reason why he's bringing up black men and black boys is because there's no way in hell he's going to be able to sell this if he only talks about white men and boys. He's not going to be able to sell it. But if he talks about black men and boys, he'll be able to sell it.
I was thinking about that. Like, why are you talking about black boys and black men when you're a white man?
Because he can't sell it any other way. Ain't nobody going to listen to him if he's just talking about white men and boys.
Well, you know what I think?
Black boys went through the most.
But part of it is that the young man that he's talking to is Coleman Hughes. I think that's his name, the brother. And he's I think he's very smart, but he don't align with my politics. And again, I hate to always sound racial. There's always little cues when you see white people talking about black issues and they get the covering of a black person. You know what I'm saying? It helps him sell the bullshit. Like you said, now all of a sudden we're supposed to be concerned about, well, if we help the white men fight feminism, they'll somehow reward us. I'm like, no, they're not going to fucking reward us. We're going to help them fight feminism. And what are we going to get out of it but just more obvious racism, the continuation of racism? So I don't give a fuck how feminist white women are or any other women. If they're bashing on white men, fuck them. That's just my belief. Why as a black man, should anything that's burdening them, because that's what you start to see some of these people traffic and promote. Well, if we help the white man, it helps us. That's never been true. That's never been true. I'm not trying to inflict any damage on them. I just don't care. You muted, Darrell. You muted.
How about I say that might help some people? I gotta stop editing while I'm streaming. That might help some people individually, Rico, but it's not gonna help everybody. You can't say, well, yeah, if I help, you know what I'm saying, Bob down the street, yeah, he might give you a job. He might help your people for sure. You know what I'm saying? But that's not gonna be beneficial for the whole fucking village, for the whole community.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's what, even thinking about Coleman and a lot of other black people in those spaces, it's like, yes, you become the favorite. You become the favorite. So you see the benefit of speaking to their issues, but the larger community, we don't get any of that. We're not getting more resources. We're not getting more any fucking thing. We're helping them with their issue, or we're highlighting their issue, and we're talking about their issue, but it's not doing anything to help us. And I'm not saying they don't have a valid issue. Go fight that motherfucker on your own. I don't care.
I'm half and half when it comes to fighting issues alone, though. I will say this: when it comes to his race specifically, they're not really doing anything to help black people out. It's not like they giving us reparations, et cetera, et cetera. So when he's saying that, like, oh, white man, we got it so bad in the country, man, it's hard for me as a black man, I guess, to even hear that shit and think, nah, bro.
That's what I'm saying. His community specifically, white men. I don't give a fuck knowing
What's
the
going on
global
with y'all?
dominance that y'all have. I don't care. You need a little ass kicking.
No bullshit.
You do.
That's how I feel about it too, Rico. It's like at the end of the day, nah, not y'all, bro. But I'm gonna see what else he got to say. I might disagree.
For the working class and black men, that distinction to me is so wild. It is so he's talking about inequalities that exist. Usually we hear inequalities where women are disproportionately disenfranchised. But he's saying in the modern world, men in some areas, he's going to explain them, are disproportionately disenfranchised. And his evidence for men being disenfranchised is the working class men. So in his mind, lower class men and black men. So like, they don't include black men. And I feel like this is a point that needs to be like dissected more, but I can't right now. He separates men from black men when he's doing this kind of analysis. And he uses black men as an example of how the system, how men are failing and how the system in his mind fail men. But he can't use the collective of like white men or Asian men. So he created a subsect called obviously working class, but also black men, not lower class black men, not middle class black men, not higher class black men as a subsect where he divides other men into working class. This is kind of wild. Like
it is.
But yeah,
what's also wild in this, because I wonder if they're going to get to it. But it seems like whenever we have these discussions, it's always the system. Nobody wants to talk about who's operating the system. So it's just men disenfranchising men.
No. He does. He said rich white man. He separates again men into higher class, lower class, and then he have black men completely separate from men. And I don't know that he's doing it to weaponize disenfranchisement to his advantage to show inequality. Yeah. Smart move. But in doing so, you've created this group of black men that is just completely only useful. I don't want to say he's using useless in a way that is almost racist in my mind. But I'm going to let him cook, because black men have been running around with this man's book, because he says what they want to hear, but they don't see the distinction being made.
How can they not see the fucking distinction being made? Now that I look him up, I want Richard Reeves.
As long as they get what they want. They don't care if it makes them look bad. They don't care if it makes them look degenerate, a bandit, a criminal. They don't care. Just as long as somebody's talking about a poor old me.
This is top tier degeneracy, but listen, guys, I'm about to go get me some breakfast. I was going to keep the stream going while I was at breakfast, but I decided not. Instead, I'm going to come back later for the wind down. Y'all know we have the wind down. I'm going to start like around 7:40, something like that. But for now, I'm about to get up, get dressed, go get me some breakfast, and then I might join Sharon's show. So if you guys see me over there, just look out for me on Sharon's show, maybe about 15, 20 minutes. Or on Hamp's show, one or two.
Eat something healthy. I see bacon and eggs coming.
I was about to say, I said, now you know that on that mine was some bacon, so that's out the window.
I say it's over. Yeah. It's over. I might go to Coney Island. I might call MJ and go straight to Coney Island.
See you on the next one, sir.
Okay, yeah.
I see the wind down. See us
now, this was a good one. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed myself today.
I'm gonna finish doing the Cynthia G video too. I'm gonna do it on Sunday.
Okay.
You ladies have a blessed day if I don't see you.
Okay, you too.
Rico. Take care of some guy.
I see you guys. Like I said, I might be at Sharon's or Hamp's. One or two. Y'all got probably Sharon's just to fuck with those guys.
Okay.
All right. Love you all. Bye. Bye, Simp Nation. Good morning.
Hey. 2:30, baby, won't you meet me by the beam? Too early, baby, later you could show me things. You know what it is whenever I visit Windy City. Did I see? No, 30 degrees, way to go, so hold me tight. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight? Hey. Truck to the plane to the truck.
Truck to the hotel lobby. Me, I go through underground garages. Presidential suite on deposit. Elevator up to the room. Shower up and then we hit the club. Touchdown, gotta see what's up. Area code in my phone. What numbers do I still have? Who do I know from the past? Hit one, she say she got a man. Hit another one, it goes green. Must have changed foes on the team. Remember when you let me in between? That was 2017. All good, chuck a look around. Find one that seem my type. Damn, my dog, and he know what I like. He done found me plenty in my life. Problem is I meet a girl tonight. Then I go and treat her too nice. Galleria credit card swipes. I don't even know if she a wife. But I do know one thing, though. Women, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, yo. Baby, I'll love you one day. Maybe we'll someday grow. Till then, I'll sit my drunk ass on that runway, on this one way.
2:30, baby, won't you meet me by the beam? Too early, maybe later, you could show me things. You know what it is whenever I visit. Windy City, she blowing me kisses, no. 30 degrees, way too cold, so hold me tight. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight?